Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay. We have arrived.
Take two.
Take two. Yes, thank you, movie making. We are here live from Campus Vejle for the first time ever.
Yeah.
We have this nice board with some nice champions. I'm ashamed to say that I didn't draw any of them.
That's a lie. That's a filthy ass lie.
No. All right.
He drew all of them.
We drew one each. You can guess at whichever, but we have arrived here, Campus Vejle. Very nice location. We are in the summer split. We're ready to go. We have Atlando and Copenhagen Flames on the dashboard ready for the semifinal of the split, I should say. And I think we should just dive right into it. What do we think about these two teams?
These two teams, as you said before, right when we got some sound issues here in the studio, we talked about this matchup, the Lannisters versus, or not the Lannisters, the Starks versus the Targaryens, if we had a little put a Game of Thrones reference in there, the Wolves versus the Flames.
Yeah.
And this is two very evenly matched teams, two teams that have done really well throughout the split and last split as well, and is kind of fan favorites, both of them. So I think if any game could go into 5 games, this is it.
I would have to agree with that notion, and if we look into what happened this season, the split, right, they got to play each other once in a best of 3. That best of 3 turned out to go into the favor of the Fire and Blood part, which was the Copenhagen Flames game plan in that scenario. But Atlando kind of threw one of the games, as far as I've been told. I saw some of that series, and it was a very evenly matched series, which is why we're saying, right, like this could go into all 5 games once again. And I mean, I suppose we should talk a little bit about the predictions before we get into the game. Actually, we're getting into the Champions League now, I think. But before we get in, what are your ideas as to where this will go? You viewers out there as well, you know, pitch in with what you think might happen. If you're fans of Atlando, hashtag Atlando win, hashtag Copenhagen Flames win on the other side. Or if you're like me, very disappointed in the Game of Thrones outcome, you can channel your inner Stark.
I think
your
everyone
inner
is.
Yeah, totally. If you're not kind of sort of brain dead, you didn't like it. Calm down. All right, predictions.
Predictions. Well, Simon, you try to get that out of me before we start the stream, and I'm still very not into saying that my complete answer of who's going to come out on the victory side of this game. But I'll have to go with a 3-1 points in this match, in this semi-finals. I'm not going to say who.
You're not going to say. You have to say who. You're going to have to say who.
Okay. Now that you're basically torturing me, I'm gonna say I think it's gonna be a very, very close game, most of the games, and I think Atlando can manage to come out on top. We have seen, like, preferably Flames is the more fan favorite team. They've been through it like a lot, and they've have to come to the finals so they can choke in the finals.
Yeah, they do have a track record of showing up in the final and actually just losing when they're the fan favorites every single time. So I think people have adapted to that expectation. They think maybe Copenhagen Flames are going to go into the final, as you say, but then maybe what's going to happen there, if we are looking to predict as from what we've seen before, they might just run out. But we're talking about this game then. You're saying 3-1 to who exactly?
To Atlando. I think 3-1 to Atlando.
Oh.
I'm going to go on a limb here and say 3-1 to Atlando, actually.
Very, very interesting. And let's just talk about the lineups. I'll get into my predictions as well, because we have first time top lane. We have Julbo, we have Krids, we have X Lønge, and we have Fred på vor jord. I can't say that without a Danish accent, because that's just the way it is. And on the other side, on Copenhagen Flames lineup, we do have Flames Nihus, Flames Young, Flames Edenfox, Flames Gubi, and Flames Kalhira, right? And let's talk a little about how they match up as players, right? Like where do we see the strengths and the weaknesses of the two teams as we hopefully get into Champions League now. I think we are about or just on the precipice of getting into the Champions League. So, you know, steel your nerves out there. We will be there in momentarily. And of course, we apologize for the delays, technical difficulties, new location, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. We had to draw these fine-ass champions. Took a little while.
This is a work of art.
Yeah, at least 20 minutes went into this. So, you know, we hope you understand out there. But where do you see the strengths and weaknesses of the two teams?
Well, the first thing I want to touch upon in this matchup is the jungle matchup. Like Young versus Julbo. It's both. So they are both kind of people who have really get a lot of who really got a favorite in this matchup, in this meta right now.
Yeah.
Because right through Pesico, when Runic Ejos got buffed to becoming almost free, their champion pool has got a lot of strengths because Young is very keen on like the Carthus and the Elise pick.
Exactly.
And Yulbo is like the number one Gragas one trick in this competition. So like two junglers who have benefited equally with these Runic Echo changes. So I can't wait to see how that's going to play out and how the pick ban phase is going to revolve around them.
Most definitely, most definitely. I just want to quickly shout out to our producer that we don't see the champ select right now, so we can't actually comment on the stuff going on in there.
So
that's for you viewers to decide. But definitely the AP champions is something that both players have been keen on from the jungle perspective. I know Elise Karthus is something that Young is very, very fond of. He has a 65% win rate on the Karthus jungle in solo queue, and Elise is getting close to that, as I remember. It has looked good. He has played it a lot in solo queue as of late, so we might see some of these early game snowbally kind of compositions. On the other hand, Karthus is more of a play for late, so we might see the other version as well. Now this other side we have the Gragas, right? But beyond that, does Young have does Yulbo have any other AP champions you might want to play? I mean, you don't see it very often, do you?
Not necessarily AP champions, I would say. He has dwelled in like the Jarvan in the jungle a couple of times, I think, which is also a very strong pick, but it's not going to benefit the same way of the running echoes. Jarvan is still very strong. You run a Conqueror on him these days, I think, which is actually really good at sustained fighting, which gives him a lot of potential, and is also a very, very good early game jungler, just like if you pick something like the Elites, or if Young goes into something like Karthus, Jarvan would be a great answer. Just invade him and kill him early and set him back so much that he's not going to be able to snowball with Requiem as much as he would like to.
Definitely. And we do actually get into the champ select here. So let's talk a little bit about the bans we've seen come through here. On the left side, on the blue side I should say, we have Atlando. Copenhagen Flames has had the first choice for the side selection in this game. Apparently red side is what they've chosen, obviously, as I'm commenting on it right now, but I've heard a lot of teams say that they want the red side because there's so many power picks right now. That's typically why you would want to pick the red side. But let's talk a little bit about the bans. What do we see here on each side, right?
Well, first I want to touch upon how Flames banned out the Gragas, as we talked about. They're kind of target banning Yulbo over here. They've taken away the Fat Man from the hands of Yulbo and saying, not today. But so, kind of target ban here, but great that showing respect to Yulbo's Gragas. He is a very, very confident Gragas player. The second ban from the side of Flames is the new Mordekaiser. The new Mordekaiser rework, which we are allowing here in the LCD. They're not playing it in the bigger tournaments right now, but we are allowing it because we'll play on the live patch. And I would expect to see this as well, because he's very strong right now. He just got a hotfix though, but he's still very, very strong. Just the Shadow Realm in itself is so strong. Like, even if you fall behind in the laning phase or just mid game, there's still the ability to just take out the enemy AD carry for 7 seconds in a team fight is so incredibly strong. So great that they banned him out here.
Yeah, definitely. If you do get close on the Mordekaiser, you get to choose whichever target you want out of the fight, and that gives a lot of space to potential playmaking, potential target selection, whichever way you want to go about it. But he has banned this game, and we just want to let's underline that the fact that we're trying to go for some sort of a Thunderdome kind of thing where you get to choose all champions regardless of the age, and that's why we see Mordekaiser banned, because he's actually available to the teams. Let's talk a little bit about the picks though. We have Sivir, Lux, and Riven on the left side here for Atlando. I do believe they can flex pick this Lux either to towards the mid lane or the bot lane, because they do have a lot of range and wave clear, the Sivir and the Lux. Although if you gap close on them, they're quite squishy, right? So if you have to scale, both of them have to scale. Lux burns a lot of mana in the early game, but if you can get your hand and head around it, you do have a lot of pressure in that lane. You can just wave clear, sustain yourself out. And I do like the ability to flex pick here. As we see a Talia being locked in, that might just be the jungler.
That might be the jungle. But circling back to the Lux pick, I think actually it's going to be support, because we've seen the Aftershock Lux support being such a prominent thing in both solo queue and in pro play right now, because it makes it just so tanky in the early game. If you can just manage to hit the binding early, she's almost an unkillable support. It's insane actually. So yeah, it's actually because right now, as Favorio Lux in Camille for probably his top laner, it's or the mid lane actually. They have a lot of flex picks on the side of Atlando right now, but like I think it's gonna be as in the support role as we just confirmed. But right now, what I'm seeing on the side of Atlando is a very squishy team actually, very high risk, high reward team.
Very much so. We are getting out of the Champions League here because, of course, the Annie is a well-known placeholder, doesn't get played anymore really, and that is why we're logging in here again. And then we can comment on the actual fully flourished Copenhagen Flames lineup after this. But let's talk a little bit about the Atlando lineup here, because it seems like Camille would be the jungler. I presume Riven is going to go to the top lane. First time top lane has played probably 250 games of Riven, and then the next one below that is Victor on 50 games. So if somebody is a one-trick pony in this champion select, it might just be first time top lane. I'm not saying that he is, but it might just be him, you know. If he who dealt it smelt it, whatever, something like that. And I mean, where do we see we see the Lux, the Sivir in the bot lane, right? We see the Talia in the mid lane. How are they going to work around this, right? How are they going to use these champions?
Well, the bot lane is very strong right off from the bat. Like the Sivir and the Lux combo, that's a lot of damage from the early game. Sivir, a lot of damage, a lot of wave clear. As you said, they both have a lot of wave clear together. And it's a very safe lane also. We have the spell shield from Sivir. They can go from a distance and just farm off. What they're really excelling at in these champions. So I definitely see it being both a safe lane, and if Fleur can manage to land these bindings, it could also be a very easy lane for them to turn it into their own favor.
Exactly, and I like the idea of the late game insurance. I like the idea of being able to wave clear later out in the game. You know, there's so much wave clear coming in for this bot lane. You have the final flux when she gets into the level 6. You have Sivir's boomerang. You have her boomerang blade. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but you get so much wave clear from this champion, and she is a very popular pick in the current meta exactly because of this. Because you just have this wave clear bot. The AD carries are quite squishy, easy targets to pick out normally, and that's why you choose to go for an option like this. Then they're going to probably play for the Talia, right? They have set up in the mid lane, they have set up in the top lane through the Riven, and Camille is traditionally early game jungler. So I like to see the early game coming out here from Atlando. It seems like they're going to pressure early with the Sivir as the late game option here, as we go quickly through the champ select and we get to see where the champions are actually going.
But I'm actually very I'm surprised to see the Camille pick over to Yulbo, because ever since Riot set the nerf hammer to Camille jungle and said no more, you can no longer stun the targets with the hook shot.
Yeah,
she's been very okay, it's actually going to be a Camille, the Talia jungle it seems like, and the Camille mid lane to Krills. Okay, we just got bamboozled, Simon.
That's really rustling my gems. All right, that's kind of cool. Camille, not something we've seen in the mid lane that often, if ever, in the LCD this year.
Not in the LCD, at least.
No, right? Like that's been a very long time off since they used or utilized that, if ever, in the LCD. Very interesting. So we get these two types of champions that are kind of similar in their ability to gap close through Riven, through Camille. They both have blonde hair. They could be Siamese twins, every guy's dream. And you know not Siamese twins. Twin sisters, right? That's the way.
Yeah, twin sisters.
Because Siamese then
that's not every guy's dream.
And they're two separate champions.
I don't know what your dreams are, Simon, but that's okay. We accept you for who you are and your preferences in women.
It's definitely. Well, actually, women in plural in this case, because it would be Siamese. That was a Freudian slip. What are you going to do? Either way, let's talk a little bit about what Camille brings to the table. She's going to play into a Cillian, and actually kind of atypical. I actually want to touch on the Copenhagen Flames lineup here, because Cillian and Yuumi, but then an Ezreal as an AD carry.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? It doesn't seem to me that Ezreal has the prevalence when you go for an Ardent Sensor kind of support, and the kind of resurrect type champion as Cillian. You speed boost your AD carry to get more auto attacks, more space, more better positioning, right? But Ezreal, that's just a very defensive AD carry here.
I would also have expected to seem like something like a Vayne or a Draven in this particular lineup from the Copenhagen Flames, because as I said, they have kind of the protect the carry vibe going on right now with the Yuumi, with the Cillian. It's going to be a very safe lane from the side of Flames. From the side of Gubi and Kalhira, they're going to be so safe in this lane right now. They have the healing and shielding from Kalhira's Yuumi, and just Ezreal is probably one of the safest AD carries in the game. So, as you said, it's kind of weird to put Ezreal together with a Yuumi and a Cillian mid lane.
Yeah, as you said, you'd probably rather want a Caitlyn. Draven is a bit more risky, but Gubi has played a lot of Draven, and in this case, I suppose no. He has played a lot of Ezreal as well. I think he actually has a negative win rate in the solo queue. Not that that is the determining factor for everything. He has played it a lot lately, and maybe it's something they've been testing out. You do get a lot of poke from the Yumi Ezreal combo though, so they have that going for them. Maybe she won't buy the Ardent Sensor. Who knows? But as we get into the game, or before we get into the game here, I'd like to go over the win conditions of each composition. I suppose you get to choose first, right? You can choose Atlando's, I'd say 1-3-1 comp there, or you can choose Copenhagen Flames. Which are the ones you want to talk about?
If we talk about Copenhagen Flames, I would definitely say it's going to be the Ezreal. It's going to be Guppy on the Ezreal with the setup they have provided for him. Or it could be Nihus on the Renekton. If he gets ahead far enough, Renekton is going to be an all-powerful powerhouse. To repeat myself, he's going to be unstoppable, especially with like the I don't remember what it's, Spear of Shojin. That's the item. He's so strong, and he can stay in the team fight forever. Especially, I think it was 3 patches ago when when they buffed the healing on his Q.
Yeah.
He's just been really, really strong. So it's probably Guppy's Ezreal, I think, with the comp they build around him.
I mean, you have the flexibility to do it on both, right? Yumi can jump back and forth, probably going to stay on the Ezreal. The Zilean is going to maybe, since it's range versus melee matchup, okay, maybe he has some space to work around, but level 3 for Camille is going to be really tough for the Zilean, I think, especially with the adaptive shield coming in from her passive. And I suppose they're just farming up, waiting for the late game. Actually, it seems like to me that Atlando has the time pressure on them, maybe apart from the Renekton. Jarvan as well, maybe an early game jungler, but he provides a lot of utility when we get into the later stages of the game. And I kind of see them playing for team fights. What do you say?
I definitely do. I agree with you. They are playing for team fights, but if we're going on to the other side of the junglers, the Yuba you just mentioned, Young's Jarvan here. That's the early game jungle of it, but we also have Talia, and it's kind of circled back to like the AP junglers talk that we had earlier.
Yeah, right.
So it sticks. We said, okay, it's either gonna be Evelyn, it's gonna be Karthus, or Elise, or Gragas, but he was banned out. But he actually survived. It's gonna be a Talia, and Talia is also great clear in the early game with the resets on the 5 stones you can throw out. And definitely a good teamfight champion. He can put out a lot of damage, put out a lot of CC if she gets ahead. And the Weaver's Wall, is a great tool to split apart a team.
Exactly. And I'm just going to talk about the Atlando lineup here as a whole. I do think it's nice, just to touch on it quickly. We do see the Jarvan versus the Talia. We do get to see the AP champion versus the AD champion. We do get to see the difference in clear speed. I would like to look at that between the two champions actually. Jarvan, not a bad jungler in any case. We have seen a large portion of him, but not so much the Talia. And I think he will pressure her in terms of invading, because he has the kill pressure on the Talia maybe early game, unless she really lands her, I don't remember, elemental earth or whatever, knocks them back, and that'll be very interesting to see. But to touch on Atlando's team composition as a whole, we do have the Riven in the side lane. When we come to the mid game, we have the Camille for the other side lane. When we come to the mid game, so they're looking to play a 1-3-1, right? You have the Sivir and the Lux in the mid lane. I love that. You have the potential to roam to the side with the Lux. If you get a really good final flux with the Lux, you can assist in terms of gank pressure in the side lanes. Talia very, very quick to go out there and pressure, just like a Nocturne, really just with the reverse wall instead. So if they get, let's say, a very even early game or a good early game at Atlando, they have this pressure they can take into the side lanes. They can play on all 3 lanes. Sivir and Lux, I don't ever see them being pressured unless a tower dive occurs, because they can wave clear so freaking easily. They can even meet the wave farther up the lane and then just pressure it back like that, and then that's fine. You know, it's out of the way. So I really like this 1-3-1 composition here. Normally it's actually Copenhagen Flames playing the 1-3-1. So on the other hand, I do like them playing for a more teamfight style, a different style than what they've done previously, because the 1-3-1 they haven't been able to execute fully, and that's why we've seen them falling short beforehand in the final. So I do like to see the dichotomy between these two team compositions. It's quite the opposite of what they normally do, these two teams, I'd say.
Yeah, and Atlanta still has like the late game conditions. They have the 500 CS Sivir win condition, as we call it in the pro player. So they definitely have like the late game as well. Not as great as they have it on the side of Flames, I would say. But there's still a lot of pressure, and I think this game is going to go through it pretty fast. I think we're going to see a lot of early action, especially from the junglers.
Yeah, I agree. We'll just wave at our producer here. I think we're actually getting into the game. Perfect timing. All right, everybody out there, raise your flags. Make sure to, predict whichever outcome you think might occur here between Atlando and Copenhagen Flames. Hashtag Atlando Esport in the comment section, as well as hashtag Copenhagen Flames if you believe that they win. And I haven't gotten through to my predictions yet. I think Atlando is going to win it as well, but I do think they're going to take it. 3-0 fail flash coming in here from Flames Scooby, and I do believe that's a first blood. Going over to, let's see, the Jules Talia. So
yeah. Oh, that hurts to see, Gooby. That flash right into the wall. Oh, my sweet lord, that hurts to see.
Well, if he's quick, he can teleport right back into the fray and go over there and try it once more. This time around without the flash, of course, so not trying anything crazy, but great start for Atlando. Exactly what they wanted.
Great start for Atlando, especially going over to Julbo's Talia here, who can come back with another machete as well, which significantly increases her clear speed against this young, as we said. So definitely going to be the edge of clear speed wise. It's going to be the edge of Julbo now that he comes back with his second jungler starting item.
Yeah, he does. And the test that we were looking towards or forward to between the junglers, the AP versus the AD, kind of skewered now into the favor of the AP jungler because he gets the first blood. But we do see them both starting on red, so they're going to go towards the opposing sides, maybe indicating that Julbo will be targeting the top lane, most likely at least because he's going to play towards the side laners. You want to snowball the Camille, you want to snowball the Riven. And on the other hand, we have Young playing towards this bottom side. At least we presume that might happen, right?
Probably there will be like a more definite target for the side of Young here because they have the spell shield on Lynge, but if the binding from Felbojor is popped, it's gonna have a hard time shifting to the mid lane here as both Krids and Eden Fox dukes a little bit out. Krids engages and actually get a decent damage onto Eden Fox, but not enough, and actually the Cillian managed to turn the fight right here.
Yeah, this glacial augment is something that we've seen. I got really surprised. I think it was Atlando Rebo, who told me about this and why they play. Oh, gank coming in here towards the mid lane. Eden Fox has to... Oh, he actually gets knocked back by the Talia. Julbo gets his auto attacks down on Eden Fox, and the flash comes in. Second kill going on to Julbo and his dabbing penguin. God forbid that ever occurs again on the Rift, but of course we have to see these emotes being spammed. A little bit of disrespect here coming across from Julbo, and both flashes burned both from Julbo and Eden Fox in the mid lane. Not a great start for Copenhagen Flames.
Sweet Jesus, Atlando is really pulling their early game out right here, and Julbo's Talia, the Dark Harvest, coming in, really helping out. It's going to be a great fit in the late game for him now that he's already 2 kills ahead and has set himself in a very, very good position for his team here.
Definitely agree, and we saw a little bit of a trade going up in the top lane. Nihus, a guy that always gets the playoffs buff. I do believe that every time Nihus has been in the playoffs, he's actually won when he played with Singularity. So it'll be interesting to see if we get to break these, I suppose statistics, curses, whatever you want to call them. Copenhagen Flames has been in every final that they've or at least at every playoffs they've played, but Nihus has also won every final, and that would break sort of a curse if Copenhagen Flames gets further. But right now, not looking so hot as Young coming down to the bot side. Felbojor actually getting back in here, but he almost gets knocked out. Doesn't, because he gets the flash in before, and Lynge is trying to trade off a little bit as they try to get out here from Copenhagen Flames, but nothing more than trying to force them back. Other than that, quite a successful gank. You get the summoner, but more than that, nothing else. No.
Yeah, a fine gang right here from the side of Young here, popping the flag and drag to get the flash out of Felbojor, which is now down, and which gives him a possibility to come back. As you said, with the shift.
First time Toblin actually going further in for the trade here. It comes as sort of an even trade, but we do see first time Toblin actually quite squishy here in the top side. Nihus seems to be in control as it is right now, as some poke comes in here from the Yumi. I don't quite recall what it is called. It's called the
I don't actually remember. But now Yulbo might be in trouble because Young and
No
both
flash.
Kalira is coming here in. But
he gets the knockback.
shutdown comes on to Yulbo right here. As now his first time top lane in danger. Going into Young. Can he turn the fight right here? I don't think he can at all. But that's going to be a shutdown over to the side of Atlando's jungler.
Yeah, Yulba actually getting the knockback on Nihu's Renekton, but it's not enough. Actually, he just gets closer to his Talia and he gets the shutdown. Well, no, Young gets the shutdown on the Jarvan, and the two junglers are really looking really hot this game.
They really are, and I see this as an absolute win. And as an absolute win, but like as we.
He gets to interrupt the recall here. Nius is window shopping, almost getting knocked down, but he has the slice and dice double time, and he gets out with his, the skin of his teeth. He doesn't get turned into cowboy boots this time around.
Slice and dice coming in clutch to save the crocodile spot.
Yeah.
But enough about crocodile bots. Let's talk about a little bit how the lanes are going right here. We have a very passive game where all the kills from both teams has been in the jungles. So we haven't seen a lot of 1v1 action or 2v2. Let's include the bot lane. We're not discriminating here on the LCD. But let's talk about a little how these lanes are going. What do you think, Sam? Who's going to be the bot lane especially? Are they going to be able to turn around now that Felber's flash is down? Do they have a significant edge over at the side of Flames?
I would like to think that Young, as an experienced jungler, goes back and tries to get God damn it, you can't say that in an English.
No, you can't.
Fredpor
Warrior.
Yeah, Fredpor Warrior. I would like to think he comes back in the next couple of minutes before the flash comes up again. Try to secure that kill. Does have the flash burn on the first time top lane Riven as well, but not exactly a lane that you feel comfortable ganking. Also, Nihus is going to apply a lot of pressure here in the early game, as Renekton might be considered a counter pick, as we see in the CS deficit. So I think he might turn towards the bot lane, but then again, both bot laners seem insistent on just scaling up, Sivir scaling up. We get the tier on the Ezreal now, and you're just looking to get the items. As I say that, though, Young is coming down, and flash coming in from Young, and lo and behold, he actually goes and repeat ganks because of the flash going down. Very experienced, very nice, and 2-2 in the kill score, as the game is actually in a 1,000 gold lead towards the Flame side, also because they do get the shutdown on Yugo, and there's a CS deficit across the board right now.
Yeah, and exactly as we predicted, it's gonna be a return game from Young in the bot side, as well in the mid lane, where Chris is maybe in some trouble. Double comes in and takes him to half HP. Looking a little bit under pressure here. Eden Fox in a good position to shove him the wave now and maybe reset in his own favor.
Yeah, we do see a lot of action across the board. A lot of dueling, a lot of 1v1s. I don't so much like the 1v1s. Of course, it's funny to see the outplays, but I do like to see them play more towards getting the priority, playing towards their junglers. If they are present, you can always try to get a good trade-off. If their lane is in such a place that you're pushing towards your opponent, you have all the pressure, you get to do all the proactive stuff, then do it there. It's all about timing. Right now, it's a little bit back and forth. You try this, you try that. I suppose you're just testing the defenses of the other team just to see where they're at, get a feel for this best of 5, which could be an explosive one. And right now, quite even, 800 gold in the lead for Copenhagen Flames, as we see Kalhira clearing out a ward here in the bot side.
Yeah, vision control doing very well for the side of Copenhagen Flames right now. The next objective is gonna be the Cloud Drake, which could be very, very interesting for the side of Atlando if they want to pull it 1v1.
Actually going in here. Resurrect coming in on the Zillion. Chris actually trying to turn around on Young. Young who's going towards Yulbu. Yulbu very low now, but who's actually going to go down? Bombs came up. Oh, he dodges out. Yulbu here. Chris coming in back from the fray. Nothing, and no one will go down. Do we see a spell flux coming in from the Lux? Not so much. We do see the Ezreal roaming in with the Yuumi on top from the bot lane, but nothing turns out to a kill. The rewind comes in from the Zillion, so he gets a resurrect there, and
yeah, Chrono Ship coming in here, saving Eden Fox in a jiffy, but constant fighting here. Good round from the side of both Atlando and Flames here, coming up to save the respectable mid laners and junglers. Yulbo getting very, very low. Too bad that Young missed the Dragon Strike right there, or else Yulbo would have been shish kebab, because yeah, it looked like it was going in the favor of Young. Great Chrono Shift, as we said, from the side of Eden Fox, turning the fight around to their favor, but they probably had to get out because both Lunge and Fabio was on the way up and had the significant advantage.
Final chapter coming in here from the Yumi, rooted down on towards the Ezreal. He has to get a heal in from the Yumi, turning around a little bit. Ignite went down on Lunge, and everybody comes out pretty much unscathed. Yugo finds a pink ward or control ward in the jungle, and he decides for it to die. And actually just through the CS lead coming in, Young actually ganking bot side again, coming in with Flag and Drag, not successful in getting close enough for the Cataclysm, and Flevoyo actually burning Flash, that's why he gets out with his life. Yeah, Young applying a lot of pressure in the bot lane actually. It seems like he's not ganking towards the top lane anymore, not towards the mid lane.
No, but he doesn't need to, because look at the CS difference in the top lane. He's almost 30 ahead. Nihu's right here. He's in a good position to just fight first time top lane whenever he wants.
First time top lane actually going in on Nihu's here, but that's because he has Yugo coming in from the side. Can he land the earth here? He does land the elemental earth as we get the blade, or the half of the blade coming in here from the Riven, executing Nihu's crocodile, and he goes behind here so that first time top lane actually can catch a little bit up on the CS, catch a little bit up with an extra kill coming in, and that'll be good for him and the matchup as it scales even further. The crocodile does scale a little bit out of the game, as you see Young coming down with the Cataclysm, going in on Flevoyo. He knows, oh, the Final Boss actually almost turning it around to get a kill or return kill in this one, but that will not be the case as we see Chris and Flames Edenfox fighting again in the mid lane. This Camille just trying to fight constantly, but Edenfox, calmly just, I'm just gonna farm, take it easy, I've got my Glacial Augment, you shouldn't get close, and that's pretty much it.
And meanwhile, undisturbedly, Yugo can just take the Rift Herald in the favor of Atlando without anybody trying to contest him. They don't have any vision on the side of Flames, and there it goes, Rift Herald over to Yugo, which really gonna help them out, opening up the map in their own favor, especially when they're playing this 1-3-1 comp as they anticipated. But now maybe Edenfox, if you step a little too far, you might get burned by the fire, but that's not gonna be this time, because he has Yugo backing him up, and he's gonna back out. But as we talk about that, the Cloud Break is gonna be taken over to the side of Copenhagen Flames.
Yeah, they respond really well to this Rift Herald going down to the top side. We do see the final chapter coming down here in the bot lane, not really hitting anyone. I do believe it's a low cooldown on this ulti, and I don't exactly know how many procs you have to get the snare going.
You have 3.
3, right? Yeah, okay. It's a rainbow colored ultimate. It's nice to look at, especially if you're high. Don't do procs out there, people. And I suppose Yumi, a champion that's really hard to execute on when it comes to the ulti. I don't know how prevalent she is, but she did get a lot of buffs here in the later stages of the patches, and that's why she's been prevalent now. Really nice to see it in the LCD, as we see the Rift Herald being summoned towards the top side. They want to go for this turret here.
Yeah, Shelly getting popped up by Yugo on the top side, looking for that first tower maker, getting 2 plates here, a lot of gold going over to the top laner and the jungler. Not going to be able to take on the first tower, but actually his knockback here on Nihu's getting danger below. That Dark Harvest block comes in to Yugo's favor right here, but not going to be enough to kill him, because Young is there to assist top laner. Are they going to be able to turn this around? I don't think so, but we see them engage into Oi here. The Hextech Doom Room comes in, and the Chrono Shift saves Edenfox, as in a jiffy right here, comes out unscathed. The Hextech Doom Room, well placed, and pops the ult from the side of Edenfox.
Yeah, I really like this actually coming in, because he's just trying to get a good recall coming in, and he forces out the cooldown on the Chrono Shift and gets out immediately after that. Not trying to duel the following morning, as it were, and playing really smart in this case. He was quite low from before. He got a little lifesteal going down there, but not enough to come up to the double life of the Zillion, and so that is nice for him. Still 3-3 on the scoreline, but right now still 1,000 gold lead in the favor of Copenhagen Flames, who is really applying a lot of vision control in the bot lane. We do see 3 pink wards on a little nice conga line down toward or through the river, the bottom side river, and not really a lot of vision coming in from Atlando at this point.
No, not really, and Copenhagen Flames definitely had the map in their favor, even though Shelly got popped. It didn't do that much. They were pretty fast to clear. But first time top lane, and Nihu's moving out of the top lane. The Dominus comes out, but he's going to turn. The exit comes in, but fails a little too short. But now the Crocodile is in danger. A lot of teleport turn on top to flash in and takes the Crocodile down. That's the second kill for the side of first time top lane.
Coming in there, actually Young getting in with the Cataclysm. We do have a Chrono Shift up, or no, I don't know. Yugo actually trying to knock him down. Flames Eden Fox keeps chasing. Not enough to get the secondary kill, but one kill goes over as the final chapter goes in on Flezoyo. Getting caught in a sticky situation. Lux not the ideal champion to get in close with. Actually quite the opposite, and Flezoyo just shows us really how poor the champion is when you get really close.
Yeah, and that's definitely a turning point for Copenhagen Flames. It looks like it's going to be an even kill score right from the get-go, and has been all through game. Return kills everywhere on the map, but right now, even though the CS lead was very, very high in the top lane, first time top lane has come really good after it. He's got his death dance now, he's really, really strong. We saw it in this Dugat up in the top lane, be able to take him down the corridor with pretty much easily. And is actually almost catching up on the corridor in CS right now. So, looking good first time top lane, and that's probably one of the trump cards right now.
Yeah, and this is the champion that has played the most during this split, right? He's played it 250 times. It is his most favorite champion. They didn't decide to ban it from Copenhagen Flames. They might think otherwise and think twice in the next game. But still, though, Nihus has been able to do quite well in the top lane regardless. Right now he is on a CS lead, though he has gotten 2 kills on the Riven, which is good for him, and that seems as if the matchup is about to turn. But, you know, maybe next game they have the information on the Riven enough for them to actually turn it around. And what does he play then, right? As you see, first turret going down. No,
it's not first turret.
The second turret going down in the favor of Copenhagen Flames. They even up the scoreline in the turret.
And now Yubo has to have a flash right here because he's gonna chase down, and the Yumi comes in to slow him, but the bomb's missing from the side of Eden Fox here. Young actually looking pretty good right here, especially because he had a little bit rough start when his opponent got 2 kills pretty early into the game. He's now 3-0, a little bit behind the CS, actually 30 CS behind from his opponent's jungler, but looking very good actually, but putting a lot of focus in the bot lane, which is really paid off for the side of Flames.
Yeah, right now, Atlando, they are not really applying this vision control whatsoever. They're putting down a little bit of vision in their own jungle, but no pink wards are down. As far as I can tell, maybe nothing down right now. Just regular wards towards the top side, the red jungle of their own jungle, and so many pink wards coming down from Copenhagen Flames. So they apply the control through the information that they're getting. On the other hand, though, Atlando, not so much right now. They are going for a clearing run down here after getting priority in the mid lane. As we do see Yumi on the German coming in here with the flag and drag and the final chapter. Yumi going really, really low. News coming in from the side. Actually, Young is going really low, but he does have the Chrono Shift on. A double kill going on to the Crocodile. That is a 7-4 score as they turn it into the Infernal Drake, or at least they're trying to right now from Copenhagen Flames side, timing it perfectly with the objective actually spawning. That's why they had the vision down. That's why they tried to assert the control, and Final Flux coming in. Not enough. We've all seen this in solo queue where jungler doesn't smite accordingly and the final flux does get the last hit. Not in this case, though. It is on a higher level than at least my solo queue standards. And
your solo queue standards are pretty low.
Yeah, my solo queue standards are really bad. And let's not talk about that. I don't want to get into it. Either way, 2 drakes in the favor of Copenhagen Flames. They ballooned the lead to a 2,000 gold lead after 17.5 minutes. And something we haven't touched on actually is the items coming in here from the different parties. We do see the Ezreal with the gauntlet now, with the mana mune, and yeah, nothing else other than that, but 2 completed items as opposed to Sivir's single completed item right now. So looking very good for the Ezreal. I do believe we have some money in the pocket of the Sivir. Can't really check that out right now, but very much in front.
But right now, looking at the side of Young here, with going to the Cinderhawk edition for the jungler item, which has been like kind of on the edge with the favorable warrior enchantment, but looking for going to more tanky approach also for the Knight's Vow right here. So looking to protect the comp right, really synergize with Yumi and the Eden Fox, just playing around Gubi right now, or Nihus as we said, which could be a good option right now. He's real tanky and he's also had electric for a little kind of burst right here. Same with Eden Fox, going for the control build, which is probably the most popular build in the mid lane right now on many different champions, with the hashtag DLP and the Glacial Augment. It provides a lot of control in team fights and for the team in total. So good seeing that they're going to control one, good seeing that they're putting all the eggs in one basket here on the side of Flames.
Yeah, I like it a lot as well. They did need that sort of tank, the secure engage, because there are only squishy targets on the side of Atlando, right? So if you get that one tank coming in, one that can engage freely, set up the Crocodile, set up the Ezreal to clean out the fight, and then you just choose whichever target you want to chrono shift, that's perfectly fine. Copenhagen Flames knows exactly what they're going into with this composition, and a lot of single target damage coming in from this composition of Atlando. Except for Mr. Button. Actually, we get do a lot of flashes coming in here. Lunga has to flash out, but with Reaver's Wall coming in from Yubu, Flames Young stuck on the other side of the wall, just like Jon Snow at this point in time. Flames Young does get out, though, as the wall gets knocked down. First time Toblin trying to come in for a flank, but it looks like he's getting to be the one with the long nose in this instance. A lot of targets going low, chrono shift going down on the Zillion, and Copenhagen Flames takes one kill after a long seance, I should say. Well, they try to tower dive first and then go for the turret. They do get to go to the turret now, and will we see an Atlando counter respond here with the chrono shift down? I don't think so, and that's a very nice, maybe a little bit over-aggressive macro play from Copenhagen Flames, but they do control it nicely. They do feel comfortable with the gold lead that they have, and the chrono shift coming in as a secure alteration because of a lot of single target coming in from Atlando. So very nice from them, and they are now at a 3,000 gold lead, 20 minutes there.
This massive team fight we just had down in the bot side, it was also kind of a bit of mistake from first time top lane. He was in way too far ahead of his team and got caught out by the Crocodile. He burned his flash, but it was not going to be enough, trying to get over the wall once again with the jump from the Q, but just went right into Edenfox's face, and the whole of lineup from Flames just able to turn it around so quickly onto first time top lane, which ends in his demise and the 8th kill on the side of Copenhagen Flames. The fight going over to Copenhagen Flames entirely also getting the tier 1 bot tower for the side of them. So definitely great turning around for the Copenhagen Flames, and they're looking very good right now, looking to take the map in their own control, and right now they're in the driver's seat.
They're definitely in the driver's seat. I think first time Topman trying to get a flank off because of the chrono shift, trying to get to some of the other targets that aren't applied the chrono shift to, and in that way just nuke whichever target you can get down, right? If you can get the Ezreal, that's great. If you can get the Sylvian, that's great too. Not quite getting it here because the warding is so good from Copenhagen Flames, and Atlando haven't really been able to reassure themselves or up themselves in that regard. And Copenhagen Flames, they, if you base it off of this game, I'd say their vision control is just that much stronger. Of course, they're in the lead, so they can control a lot more. But I mean, if we talk about the two teams, if we talk about our predictions, right? Right now, Copenhagen Flames looks like the stronger Mako team. I know it's only the first game, but there are those elements to it, right?
Right, most definitely there are. And right now, my predictions doesn't look very good because Flames looking to take the first game pretty uncontestedly right now. But Atlando is not done yet. They still have some fight left in them. They're not that much behind that they cannot turn it around. It's a 4K gold deficit right now. 2 drakes on the side of Flames and 4 kills. As the next Infernal Drake is spawning, Flames setting up for it. Could be another team fight.
Actually coming in here, getting the Q down from the left, targeting down the only from first time top lane. You get the first target down, but that is all she wrote as Cataclysm come down, and 2 people go down in the side, or the favor towards Copenhagen Flames as they chase down first time top lane on the side here. Not fast enough with all the cooldowns coming in from first time top lane. Actually, they're not turning around towards the Infernal Drake. They're going straight for the Baron after this play.
Okay, a 3-4-0 on the side of Flames, just dominating this team fight right here, caught out first time top lane once again, trying to get into the backline, but fails miserably with all the CC that I have to lock him down. So not going to be able to do anything first time top lane right here, and that's going to be a Baron for the side of Copenhagen Flames without anyone. Oh, Chris and Rebel actually coming down with the TP coming in from Nihus. No, from Edenfang trying to steal this Infernal Drake, and the side Nihus is also on the way, even though his bot lane are up in the Hex Doomer comes in here, but Frozen Call coming in, Final Spike takes down. Oh, actually it's not going to be fine, but Chris goes down here to the Crocodile as well as the Baron going onto the side of the Young here. That's a Baron and an Infernal Drake over to Copenhagen Flames. Now they are almost set on the finish for the first game.
This is what they call having or baking your cake and getting to eat it too, or having your cake and getting to eat it too. I don't know.
I don't think that's in English.
It's something along the lines of that. Don't correct me out there if I'm wrong. You have a cake, you don't just get one slice, you get to eat the whole thing, even if you baked it, it's right.
I think we get your point, Simon.
Right, you get it. They get both the Infernal Drake, they do get the Baron as well. They realize that the Infernal Drake is something that Fritz and Fred could have taken, so they just turn around, veer the secondary squad, the secondary SWAT team over there, and they get both objectives just barely on the Baron as they were getting really low, but everything, or the ball I should say, is very much in Copenhagen Flames court right now as they look to siege towards the last standing outer turret in the top side.
Yeah, even like with every minute going into this game, Copenhagen Flames just getting stronger and stronger right now, turning 2 team fights in a row in their advantage and just taking both Infernal Drake and the Baron on the side of this team fight. Really not looking good for the side of Atlando. They must be under pressure, to quote the Immortal Queen right now. But right now it's looking rough. And Simon, what should Atlando do right now to get back in this game and put themselves into the driver's seat?
Well, they should do the opposite of what they've done the entire game, which is to play around vision, right? They should try to set up some traps in their own jungle. They should try to control their own jungle in the first place. Give up what you have to give up. If you have to take a fight, take it under turret. You are no longer in the control to choose a fight unless you get a trap and spring it on a control board in your own jungle, right? Around the blue buff, around an entry point where you know the opponent is wanting to set their vision, maybe a Baron spawning or something like this. Right now, they're just concerned with actually the rotating towards the turret, I should say. Just really nice to see. They know how to use their lead. They knew how to balloon their leads as when we saw them getting the 2,000 gold lead. They've just applied the vision since then, and they've done it very thoroughly, very mechanically, I should say, almost robotic, and that has just looked really good. Only 4 kills on the side of Atlando, and that's all she wrote right now, as they are knocking not on Heaven's door, but on the base of Atlando here in first turret, or Nexus turret, no, not Nexus turret, Inhibitor turret, looking to go down as Scooby is just flying forward with the minion wave, and the first one goes down. They are looking towards the first Inhibitor. I don't see Atlando actually contesting here. They're trying to poke, but nothing really comes through, and not a lot of damage going over towards Copenhagen Flames, and the first Inhibitor goes down.
And now, right now in this moment, we see how the Flames really complements Gooby's plays that round. He's really far ahead. He's 5-1 on this. Ezreal has finished his Luton's Echo and is looking to build even more damage. He's so strong right now, and that is because the whole of the composition from the side of Flames is built around him. As we predicted from the start, it was looking to be on Nihu's around the mid game, but it has turned in the favor of Gooby on the Ezreal, which is so strong now and really a threat to be reckoned with right now.
Yeah, not the ideal AD carry as we said it, right? We said it was weird around the Ezreal, but he does get the safety, he does get the poke, a lot of safety, I might add. And if you put all your eggs in one basket, you have to be willing to play towards that. In the later stages of the season, Copenhagen Flames have actually been playing some protect the AD carry compositions with Kog'Maw coming into the bot lane, with the Ivern in the jungle, maybe a little bit more lackadaisical compositions that we see now. This is probably more strategic, more competitive, and really working out for them. So I really like to see this new flavor from Copenhagen Flames, showing that they have the flexibility of different compositions, which would be really good for an eventual farm if they get to it.
Most definitely, and right now, like, they just keep on pushing into the mid lane now. We have News in the side lane, toking up some XP and clean out these waves, but right now they're not resting their case. They do not want to stop pushing. They're looking for the second Inhibitor right now as the bot lane is pushing down with the super minions. The next Drake is about to spawn.
Nice rotation coming in here, and they get the inside track on the actual Inhibitor turret on the top side of the map. That means the next Inhibitor going down. Final chapter coming in from the Yuumi. Actually getting to root Clever Yo, but too far away to actually do something about it. They just get the Inhibitor. I think they're quite satisfied about that, as the Baron is just slightly edging into her consciousness again on the map, and we might just get to see Copenhagen Flames recall here, reset, try to re-up the vision around the Baron area, while the opposing team has to simply defend from all the minion waves cascading into their base.
It does look like that Atlando is going for the mountain break, maybe rotating down around the Dragon Pit, while Flames is heading up to the Baron. But that's not going to be a word fit for Atlando, but it's going to be something that they have to take. They have to get like a consultant prize, or what do you call it in English? Consolation prize, not consulting prize. Consolation prize. Consultant prize.
Excellent consulting, sir. As we see the Baron actually coming down onto the map here, that's what they were waiting for. Nihus tried to pressure the side of the map as they were on the Mountain Drake. I don't really think they cared about the Mountain Drake. They've gotten two Infernals, two most important for the scaling. They're never going to get close to our objectives, they say. And here goes the Baron in the favor of Copenhagen Flames. Easy peasy. Just red side or blue side vision in Atlando's blue side jungle, I should say. All in the favor of Copenhagen Flames. They would smell it a mile away or 5 miles away, the shit coming off King's Landing in this case. And, really, really nice assertion of control here from Copenhagen Flames. I can't say it enough. I really like this from them. They seem to have really prepared for this playoff.
You really stepped up with the Game of Thrones references today, Simon.
Yes, I am ready with fire and blood. I will make it. I will make it. And
it could be too much at some point.
Yeah, I know. But never for me. So if the viewer thinks it's too much, feel free to comment. I'll probably just do it anyway.
Probably just ignore it?
Yeah, I'm probably just going to ignore it. Young trying to keep people from the base as the rest of the team is knocking on the base here. Nihu's actually going in, trying to duel Lunger. Lunger has to flash out. Fight on a lot of freaking places here. Quite the opposite, double kill going over to Gooby, and one kill going over to Flames Eden Fox as we see a triple kill going in the final stages of this game, and Nihu's just keeping on, pushing in the middle here. Nexus is going down in the favor of Copenhagen Flames, 4-18 in the first game. Hot damn.
God damn, in the immortal words of King Leonidas, take from them everything, give to them nothing in return. And that is what Copenhagen Flames just did to Atlando. They had no chance right when we got to mid-game. They said, okay, you had your fun, Atlando. Let's take it down from here.
Give him a sip of water, then kick him down a well. I like it. Yeah. And, very one-sided game. We did see the back and forth in the early game. Actually, Atlando getting off to a good start, but then squandering a little bit as Julbo gets caught out without the flash, not respecting the fact that Jarvan has gap closer, Renekton has a gap closer too, and that's where he gets the shutdown, or the Copenhagen Flames lineup gets the shutdown in the early stages, thus equalizing. And overall, Copenhagen Flames just looking better in the laning phase, actually, on almost all fronts, all lanes. Not ideal for Atlando. I mean, do we think they have to mix it up with the champions? Was it the matchup, or are the players on Copenhagen Flames just mechanically better?
I think it was like the mechanical skill and also the composition doing a lot of work for Flames here. Not being able to get into Gubi at any point in this game. Even with Ezreal being a safe champion, they had the Cillian, they had the Jarvan, they had the Crocodile, they were on Yumi, there were nothing they could do to get into him, and that's why Gubi went so strong, getting a triple kill right here in the last second of the first game, and that is why Copenhagen Flames took this first game of the semifinals.
Yeah, a lot of sustain, a lot of utility coming in after they get out of the laning phase as the champions. If you just semi-survive the early game with these champions, you have so much utility. You can counterplay all the single target damage coming in from Atlando, and that was the danger, right? They didn't really ever get to play their 1-3-1. We didn't see Camille in the one lane and Riven in the other.
They had no room for it. They were pushed in all the time, especially right when we hit 20-minute mark. There was no room for them to just go out in silence. They had to divide all the resources into defending and trying to take the objective away from Copenhagen Flames, but it failed, and that's why they didn't take the first game.
Exactly, and first time top lane actually looked quite good as he came back into the game, but if you have to assert some dominance and pressure over the map, you have to play some pink wards up towards one of the solo laners. This time I would say first time top lane would be the ideal candidate. Try to give him some room to actually just, you have this lane, you have all the vision over there, we're just going to defend everywhere else, and try to assert your at least some pressure or get some pressure back on the map. We didn't see that from Atlando. No vision coming in. That's a no-no in the League of Legends book, and I would really like to see them up their vision game, get the pink wards coming in. I think the coaches are going to say that as well. Remo, our fellow caster mate, coaching for Atlando, of course, and I think he's gonna lift his finger here and say, you know what, you forgot this game. I think it was the warding. Bitches.
But we will see, because we are finished by the first game of the semifinals. But we are back in 5 minutes with the second game between Atlando and Copenhagen Flames. You know where to tune in, so grab a soda, grab some popcorn, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
5 minutes, people. ladies and gentlemen, I do believe we have a freeze frame on our end. But that's fine by us. We do hope you can hear us now. We did have a couple of issues with the sound, not going in here and there. It went into the webcam. We're very sorry for the technical difficulties. We had a lot of shifting around, ending up on this location at the last minute. We're very appreciative of Campus Violet letting us be here. So very sorry for the technical difficulties. We're doing everything we can between games and making sure it's top tuned for tomorrow. But for now, the second game between Atlando and Copenhagen Flames. First game going over very much in the favor of Copenhagen Flames. What do we say? What do we want to see from Atlando in this game?
What we want to see is more decisiveness, I think, especially from their engagement champions. Like, especially the first time top lane pointing out, a lot of times in these fights, he were going for the backline but not being able to get in at all, and his team just not being able to follow up without anything at all. So we need to see more decisiveness as a team, more team coordination from Atlando to say, okay, now we're going in, all of us. It's even death or victory. One of these two, but we're all doing it together. That's what we need to see. And also we need to see improvement on macro game, because through most of the game, first game, we had dominating vision control from the side of Copenhagen Flames. Like, just opening up the map in their favor, having control of all of it, and that's where they had the advantage to just pick off the enemy targets and turn the game in their own favor.
Yeah, I definitely agree. More proactiveness. We didn't see them actually executing on their own composition, and that is a shame when you play to win in a game like League of Legends. Obviously, you play to win in almost every game. I don't recall a game where you don't. No, maybe you can help us out there, Twitch chat, if you have anything of the sort. Maybe you just play for fun, play to be happy, play for familiarity, I don't know. But we do see the first half of the ban phase going through on the left side. Again, Atlando, who have banned Aurelia, Vladimir, the flex pick, and Saya. And on the other hand, again, Mordekaiser banned out the Gragas as well, and this time the Zed. I do believe actually that is the replica of the previous game. Yumi this time around, though, first pick value going over to Atlando, where Ezreal being combined and paired up with the Alistar, so a lot of CC, a lot of engage tools coming in, maybe to try to counteract the fact that there's only one target to go for in the lane here.
Yeah, and such a safe lane once again from the side of Copenhagen Flames here. Kalhira and Gooby being under the protective shield of the cow. The knockback is going to be able to just save his AD carry in a tight spot every single time. Even with the E from Ezreal, there is no chance of them killing them. Maybe if Yulbo take all his assets to bot lane and put all his time down there is a chance, but I don't think they should count on a kill in this bot lane on the side of Atlando. Yeah, Sejuani now getting locked in the favor of Yulbu, another AP-oriented jungler, seeing that coming in from, this time more tanky though, instead of the Talia that actually had a really great start, but after that got nuked out of the fights. The fights didn't get to be as long as you wanted, or they weren't played right in terms of how squishy Atlanta was in the previous game. So I like seeing Sejuani coming in here. And on the other hand, a Jhin pick coming in to pressure the early game in the bot side. Jhin actually very nice here in the favor of Xlunge. So I'd like to see that coming out as we see Jarvan coming in towards the side of Copenhagen Flames once again. And as we're moving into the second ban phase, we're going to see a lot of repeating the composition on the side of Flames, looking like they're going towards a protect the AD carry comp once again in the bot lane, or like playing around Gooby Ezreal once again. Looks that way at least. But as we're moving into the second ban phase, Camille and Sealing is going out here. So right now, looking for a target ban onto Eden Fox, saying, okay, we're taking away the Sealing. It worked pretty well last time, taking it out of his hands right now. As well as a Camille ban coming out from the side of Flames, not being able to get it on kills once again from the mid lane. Exactly right, and actually both compositions can go both ways right now. We have the bot lane and the jungler for both teams locked in. We don't have the soul laners yet. Yaners, what up, man? Like soul laners, man. And that is what is going to dictate whether or not it's going to be a 1-4 composition or a 1-3-1 composition coming in from these two teams. So nice it will be to see. We do get to see the Cassading being banned out. Gooby very much a fan of this. And Renekton blind picked into the top side. Do we have any counter picks in terms of this? I know first time top lane enjoys to play the Victor. Might that be a good thing in terms of the Renekton?
He can keep it at a distance, but like when he goes in, he does not have a chance. Slice and Dice will be able to get out of the W stun pretty easily. But Fiora could be a possibility, a very good champion into the Renekton, being able to block the stun with the riposte W. But it's gonna be the Kennen going with a ranged matchup here to keep the Crocodile at distance. It's gonna be the discount Pikachu up against Renekton right here in the top lane, and I can't wait to see how that's gonna turn out. First time top lane on the Kennen, he played it a couple times before, but if you get your shit together, Simon, we can talk about the game.
I am getting my shit together. I just had to get over that discount Pikachu comment, which was awesome, because I don't know what kind of animal Kennen is, but a discount Pikachu sounds just about right. And I do love the Kennen, I should say. Really nice champion coming in with the Slicing Maelstrom, creating a lot of space, creating a lot of possibility for flanks, a lot of possibility for great team fights. You know, you have the Sejuani to pick off someone with the Glacial Prison, but the Kennen coming in to pick off everyone else with the Slicing Maelstrom. I really like that. And Pyke coming in as the last pick, going towards the mid lane, one of these assassin-type picks. Going into the LeBlanc, last time we saw this, actually the LeBlanc was picked in... No, wait. The Pyke was picked into the LeBlanc, but it didn't look so hot into the LeBlanc, and I think that's why they respond this way from Copenhagen Flames side, but definitely an interesting champ select. And I think we might just as well get into it. You get to choose which compositions, win conditions you want to speak to, and just tell me what they're going for in this game.
Why do I always have to go first?
I can go first.
No, I can go first now.
Oh, okay, man. Don't be a bitch about it then, man. Like,
I can be a bitch about it. Just
don't.
shut up. Shut up, okay? I'm going first.
You're going first?
But like, we talk about the compositions right here. I think they have a lot of potential on the side of Copenhagen Flames once again. Looking a bit like they had last game. They do not have to protect the AD carry composition as much as they had last game. They do have shifted the Cillian out with the LeBlanc, which is going to be a little bit more aggressive approach. They do have a lot of engage on the side of Copenhagen Flames. The Renekton, the Alistar, Jarvan, and LeBlanc. It's a lot of engage, and they really have to watch out from the side of Atlando if they don't want to get caught out and being picked off one by one.
I definitely agree, and what they can do in this composition, as I knock over my sunglasses there, not really using them, so I don't know why I'm wearing them, but we have the LeBlanc being able to go for this 1-3-1 sort of style, as well as the Renekton too. You get them out in the side lanes, you can play towards that, but you can play towards the team fights as well, looking for flanks from the Renekton, flanks from the LeBlanc, trying to pick off these carries, you know, finding a way in and out. It depends on how well you maneuver these champions. So gear shifts coming in and out of this game, I should say, you know, shifting up the tempo, shifting down the tempo, depending on where the game is. They have that flexibility, and I like that from Copenhagen Flames lineup. But on the other side, we have the Wolves, the Starks of Winterfell. You know, the pack survives, but whatever, the other guys die. I don't remember the quote. And Pyke coming in the mid lane, actually also a champion you can play towards this 1-3-1 with Kennen in the other side lane as well. So they have the flexibility of going back and forth. Yeah. Those two champions will look like they will likely go for the flanks as well. They will try to get the picks, and if you set up the Pyke, he can get to snowball through his X marks the spot ultimate there. Very
Death from below.
Death from below. Yes, exactly. I always just choose the wrong option there.
Yeah.
And then we have the Jhin. You know, you get the curtain call. You set up the front, the Sejuani, the Kennen, the Pyke coming in, trying to, you know, you can throw all those three in there, coming in from different angles. I really like that. So you have that as a team fighting option as well. Ideally, they come in through the flanks or a great Glacial Prison, but a lot of tools to be worked around, and the Yuumi can just jump to whichever target makes the most sense. Maybe you don't want to sit on the curtain call while that is closing or supposed to close out the fight, right? So you jump in towards the front line engagers, and that could be Pyke. You know, you want to set up with the final chapter, and in that way, it works out really well. We are 2 minutes into the game, apparently, so we're just trying to get in there. Hopefully not a lot has happened just yet, but we can start to presume who gets the first blood and who might already have.
But once again, sorry for the technical issues we're experiencing right here live from Campus Violet. It's a bit of a new setup. It's a bit last minute, as we said, so things are about to go wrong. We apologize for that. But yeah, talking about the first blood, which I think is going to come in the mid lane. We do have the LeBlanc into the Pyke. I think it's going to be an aggressive mid lane, going for the level 3, both of them. But I think it's going to go over to LeBlanc on the Eden Fox.
All right. Still in the delay. So we're not in the Champions Select yet. It's our producer who is unable to actually spell correctly, and we applaud him for this, as well as the technical difficulties. Of course, that's not his fault. We're just kidding here. We've had a lot of technical and linguistic difficulties actually as well, so you can blame me too. We're very sorry about this. We're getting into game shortly, and hopefully the sound is actually still going through in the correct mics as well.
And
so
not
you
the webcam.
yeah, and not the webcam. If we start sounding like a bathroom and a toilet, I didn't want to say it, but there
Just
I did.
spam our producers in Twitch chat.
Just ignore it, watch it on mute and just look at our happy faces commenting away in a, almost meandering fashion. For me, in terms of the first blood to get back into the game, I think maybe you could be right in terms of the action actually going down there, but I always like to bet on purple, and Kennen, definitely one of my favorite champions in the game, so I'm going to say that the first time top lane on the Kennen is going to get the first blood, simply because I just favor that champion above almost all else in the game.
Not biased at all.
Nope.
Nope.
No. This is a skillful analysis.
Yeah,
of
skillful analysis of the discount Pikachu.
This champion is major, and
He's actually pretty little.
Yeah, it's a small champion with a lot of range, and
It
in
is.
these political correctness days, we have small people that you should call small people, not dwarves, and all that sort of stuff. They get to prove themselves in movies and other sorts of stuff, so why not in League of Legends as well, right? We have the Keenan coming in here, and I think he is going to show us. Again, one of the discussions going on about in the political correctness arena as well. He's going to show us a lot of good stuff in this game.
I do. I think you have a lot of potential there. He does have the advantage of keeping the distance to the Renekton on the Nihus. He has the advantage early game at least. But if Nihus gets an opening, it is a dead rat, without a doubt. He does have the all-in, which is better. The Dominus gives it a lot of tankiness when they hit level 6 with the Slicing Maelstrom. Not doing such a lot of the damage in the early game, just mostly for the CC. He needs to have Young coming to help him, but that we'll see, because we are in Summoner's Rift for the second game of the Summer Split semi-finals. Copenhagen Flames versus Atlando. Let's see how this is going down.
Yeah, very interesting to see how it's going to turn out. Something I want to talk about as we are still on the Kennen here. Do we see the Proto Belt coming in, or is it going to be the Gunblade, do you think?
I think we're going to need to see the Proto Belt. They do have the engage already with Pyke and Sejuani, but he needs to get in and get the CC within the team fight. Have the massive Slicing Maelstrom stuns. He needs to have his way clear, and I think the Proto Belt is going to work for him in that way.
Yeah, and I agree, because some people, they like to argue that you get better presence in the 1 versus 1 in the laning phase with the Gunblade. I see that, of course, I do, but that's not why you pick Kennen, right? You don't necessarily pick Kennen to win the lane. Of course, that's nice if you do, but you want the Proto Belt exactly to get in there with the Slicing Maelstrom, close the distance on the champions you want to get to, and I would definitely hope that we do see that from first-time top lane, who has started with the Dorn's Blade, of course, just to ease up on the lifesteal and the last-hitting potential of the Kennen here in the early game, as we get a little dance from the bottom lane.
Looking like Young and Nihus is starting in the red side here on the red buff, taking it from maybe going into the early lane, ganking in the top side against first-time top lane could be a possibility. Don't think I'm looking for it, because first-time top lane not going to be able to have his E up once he gets there, so maybe it could be an early fast that gets a pop from the side of Young and Nihus.
Possible that we see this sort of early game gank. Okay, actually just flagging, dragging over the wall, directly going for Sejuani's jungle. We'd actually see an invade right off the bat from Young here, going towards Yulbo Sejuani in the jungle. He's coming in here now. I would like the camera to go there. Probably not going to go there. But there's a dance going on in the jungle. Yulbo very, very low. He doesn't get the smite away. Flames Young actually gets it. Flashes in on Yulbo. Yulbo in trouble here. He used the flash before. We just saw it off screen. And first blood.
First blood goes over to Young, which means we were wrong. It's not going to be Eden Fox the Blanc taking the first blood this time. It's going to be the jungler from the side of Copenhagen Flames, just waiting patiently to save and get over to the side of the Frog, taking down the Yulbo Sejuani right here. And the flash getting popped early to miss the flag and drag, but it's not going to be enough, because the Flame Young is going to flash right out for him and take him down.
Yeah, and I just don't get why Yulbo wouldn't get out early on. Sejuani, notoriously weak early game jungler, very smart by Young, what he did there. Not something we usually see in invade level 2, unless it maybe is a Lee Sin or something. But he definitely knows the matchups really well. He knows how the jungler works, and is able to just capitalize on the weakness of Sejuani in the early game. Yulbu is going to have a hard time now, just trying to pick off the rest of his jungle as the game proceeds. But 400 gold in the lead for Copenhagen Flames after 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's looking good for Copenhagen Flames already. Coming with the win from the first game, maybe they have like the bit of the positive attitude.
Ooh,
but flash
headbutt coming in here
with the pulverize coming in, but the W's out to miss the W from Jin. Good engage here, pops the flash from Lunge, but it's flash for a flash, but definitely worth for the side of Flames taking down the flash from Lunge's AD carry.
Yeah, I don't really see the idea of this flash as Yulbu is dueling Young again. I don't think this is warranted. Maybe he has priority in the mid lane. No, he does not. And we see Gooby coming in or coming down as the first one. Oh, you hate to see it happen.
Oh, my lord. My sweet, sweet lord, that hurts. Yulbo going down once again, not being able to escape at all. Flash comes in from Eden Fox with the Ignite already taking him down instantly, and that's going to be the second kill of the game on the side of Copenhagen Flames. Really hurts to see that if you're Yulbo.
Yeah, but it's his own fault, right? Like, this has been so...
Yeah, he tries going up to fight Young. I don't really know why.
You lost the first battle. You don't have a flash. You don't have priority mid lane. You still fight. That is a rookie mistake if I ever saw one. On a Sejuani as well, we do see the Hextech Flash and the Jarvan coming down from the bottom side here, maybe looking to wing it in there on Lunge. Coming in from the side with the flag and drag, Junge dancing back and forth, Ignite coming down, Lunge actually only using he did use the flash before.
Kalhira getting dangerous low here.
Yeah,
He's going to take down the car. I don't think so, because Yuba is going in the mid lane. Eden Fox coming in with the chains, but misses it as Pyke gets out of range here. Not going to be able to chase him down. Are they going for it? Even though in the bot lane they're going for re-engage, but now Eden Fox is down. The Glacial Piston comes in. It's going to be enough. No, he distorts on over to the other side of the wall and gets out unscathed this time. What madness of happenings all around the map at the same time.
Yeah, too close for comfort for Kalhira. Almost going down here in the bottom side when they're the ones trying to proactively gank Lunge. Lunge had the flash force before. Does have to force a heal from Fred på vor jord. It's not natural that you see a heal on the support, but when Yuumi is played, that is exactly what you do. Gooby trying to get out here as the fourth shot goes down. Not enough to kill him, but he does have to recall. And actually only 600 gold in the lead for Copenhagen Flames right now. So a very chaotic start, but Yulbo definitely the biggest loser right now. I wouldn't even say Atlando. So he should just, just pick up his slack, try to hit level 6 and then try to gank again. Ideally not in the top or the mid lane, because it's going to be really difficult to get towards the Renekton and the LeBlanc as well. Maybe... Actually, all three lanes really hard to gank here from Copenhagen Flames. You have the Arcane Shift from the Israel, you have the Slice and Dice from the Renekton, you have the Flag and Drag from the Jarvan, and you have the Distortion from LeBlanc. So just really, really hard to gank lanes unless they've burned their cooldowns prior to the gank coming in.
I think what Yulbo needs to do right now, he just sit back, relax, as you said, wait till he gets on Glacial Prison and get some secure ganks in, because Glacial Prison is really going to help him out when he wants to gank. Just being able to do the long-range, long-term stun is almost going to be a secure kill if it's not Eden Fox, at least the distortion. Oh, but Yulbo in trouble once again here, getting completely caught on, and it's going to be the second kill for Young. Yulbo died his third time, and now he's looking really, really sad. But now Young and Kalhira maybe getting caught out, the cow totally caught as in the trap of the red buff, and the kill goes over to Lunge right here, getting the first kill on the side of Atlando.
They don't get the shutdown, but they do get the cow, and that is their consolation prize. So 1 for 1, I'd say pretty good for Atlando. It is a carry getting the kill on the side of Atlando as well. Lunge on his Jhin. He has shown that he can play really well when getting ahead on these 80 carries here. So very nice that they get this consolation prize, something to play towards, a strength to play towards as they pressure Israel out of the lane. Actually, I think the Deadly Flourish did land, but not enough for them to kill Gooby. But Gooby has to respect the fact that they do have kill pressure when they're 2, and he is merely the 1. And yeah, really... really nice early game. They're getting a little bit back here at Atlando. Let's talk a little bit about the vision. We do see a deep pink ward in the red side jungle of the Atlando team from Copenhagen Flames. As Yulbo, I don't know what you're doing this game, but that Yulbo is not the correct choice.
My sweet, sweet child.
Dracarys, man, you're dead. Okay, Really, really poor jungling from Yulba right now. I think it's fair to call him out. Like, where do you get off? Right, he is level. Is he level 6 yet?
I know he's not level 6 yet, and Young has hit level 6. He's level 5, but he's 0-4 just 8 minutes into the game as the Infernal Drake goes over to the side of Copenhagen Flames. Really just being all the wrong places at all the wrong times. Nothing is working out for the jungler of Atlando right now. Don't know exactly what he's doing, but it's not looking well at all.
Definitely not. And I mean, the communication in the chat room of Atlando, it should be, we actually see an extended trade here in the top side. We get a little bit of notion how they can outplay each other, one another up in the top side with the slicing, the slice and dice and the stun coming in from Renekton first off, but then the stuns coming in from Kennen's passive. Really nice from him as well, and very even top side as right now. But yeah, Yulbo, the only guy who's died on the side of Atlando is Yulbo, and Sejuani traditionally, you play for the Glacial Prison, you play for counter ganks, you look more into tracking the other jungler than being proactive, especially before level 6. And that, I can't believe that is what the coaching staff has told Yulba to do this game. Hardly go 0-4. I don't ever think you get that advice, but still just unhinging here from the side of Yulba. Vision towards the bot side from Copenhagen Flames mainly, but the same from Atlando. Actually 3 pink wards in the bottom side. As we see a shutdown coming in here in the mid lane, I completely looked away there. Flash going away from Eden Fox, and Yulbo actually gets another assist on the board, so that's what we're going to see for him. And the death from below, very oppressive ultimate that gets to execute and dole out gold towards the remainder of the team. Actually puts Atlando in the team by 100 gold. Very, very well-made champion there.
Yeah, X definitely marked the spot right there in the mid lane, getting the first kill on the kills right here, which it could be very good for them. As you said, the second assist for Yubo, so finally something is going his way. Maybe looking for Youngbuck engaging here with the flying drag, because Kalhira is ready to follow up, but the E comes in for Chris, taking him over the wall and taking him to safety.
Yeah, a lot of roams coming in. Not the first time Kalhira has gone out of his own lane. Ezreal is a notoriously safe AD carry to play, also alone. Sivir also a great choice in this regard, but he feels comfortable enough, or they feel comfortable enough as a team as to send Kalhira out for any mission that might entail a sort of 3-man gank. Doesn't work out this time because they do have gap closers on Atlando's side as well. So Atlando definitely back in this game, though the Infernal Drake is something of a win condition that scales out into the later stages of the game, which they got for free. So nice for them right now, and Flames definitely in the driver's seat, I would say.
Right now, top lane looking very, very stalemate, as none of them have gotten a kill yet, and very, very even on CS the whole through the game. The protocol is going to be finished on first time top lane, as we predicted, but not a single item completed onto Nihus right away. He does have a lot of gold on him, I think, so maybe looking for a back. As in bot lane, we see the Deadly Flourish coming in, hitting the cow, but once again, not action going on the top side. But maybe we're going to see something. First time top lane getting fairly low here with the Crocodile coming in, taking him to half HP, forcing him on the tower. But we get Young in bot lane now. Yumi seems fine. Final chapter comes out, but it's not going to be enough. Kill goes over to Gubi, and Kill Hero as the next time. Deadly Flash comes in, but it's not going to be enough. Young goes down with the killing spree and takes down Jin. Lunge is dead, and that's going to be a 2-0 to the side of Copenhagen Flames.
Yeah, and Yumi gets caught out outside of Jin here, or ex-Lunge's Jin, and that is just a squishy kitty cat right off the bat there. I mean, if anyone's seen Chernobyl, you know what I'm talking about. They go down really, really easy, but they go down bad. And just the entire bot lane being eviscerated here from Atlanto's side, and they look to turn down some plates here from Copenhagen Flames' side, as well as on the top side. First time top lane does get a lot of space, but not as quick as... Ooh, Slicing Maelstrom coming in on the roaming LeBlanc. Eden Fox actually feeling quite comfortable in this. He can just take the runt of the damage, not enough to burst him down from 100% to 0. And he gets a kill as well. Very nice defense, but Chris is knocking on the middle turret while they are dancing in the top side, but definitely a lot more plates going down in the favor of Copenhagen Flames off of this. Turns into a almost 2,000 goal lead in the favor of those guys, as Chris is...
Chris, what are you doing?
What is going on here?
Boy, are you
Not great, and...
Chris, are you alive? Should we send a doctor or something?
Clearly, he doesn't want to be on this planet anymore. He just signed off, and that's the transcript, everybody. I don't know what happened, but looked really bad. We don't get a pause coming in, so I don't think that it was a disconnect or anything. It just looked eerily similar to a disconnect.
Yeah.
And Lunge and Fredpo actually getting a lot of turret plates down here in the bot side as we see Yulbo skulking around, going in actually on Nihus. He doesn't have the wave advantage in the bot side, the priority to go in on him, but he tries to force him out so they can get the plates in the bot side. Gooby going into the mid lane right now. I don't know why they've thrown Eden Fox, maybe just because he rotated before.
Oh, Hexflash coming in from the cow here in the mid lane, looking for an engage onto kills, but it's going to be enough. They're not going to be able to catch him out, as well as the Shelly going down to the favor of Young, getting it up here on the top side, popping it already probably in the mid lane. No, they're going actually for Yubo, which is probably going to get his fifth death of the game. Cataclysm comes in here, but it's going to be enough to take down. He's very tanky. True Barrage coming in, but flashes over to Listen, and the blast pack takes him to safety. Yubo survives and gets out with his life in check, but maybe not. He's circling around. No, he's recalling down in the bot side. What a cascade of events here, saving Yubo's life in the last minute, dodging the True Shot Barrage with the flash over to the blast plant and taking him to safety.
Yes, and this could be the redemption arc coming in for Yubo, or the beginning of a redemption arc here. Hopefully it pays off in the end and is not just thrown to the floor. Yubo getting a really nice play, nice escape, not giving over any more kills, even though it is 2-8, and now an Ocean Drake to boot in the favor of Copenhagen Flames. They keep up the pressure they had from the last game. They're looking to get even more kills, as the kills on the side of Atlando right now from last game is halved. So very nice from Copenhagen Flames. They are almost 3,500 gold in the lead. We do see Flames Eden Fox clearing out a pink wards to the top side, and the vision actually moving a bit more towards the top side from Flames here, having their pink wards in the top side river. I wouldn't say they're preparing for Baron just yet, because it's 14 minutes into the game, so there's still a good 5 minutes before that is relevant. And I just think it's for the sake of Eden Fox being able to pressure on this LeBlanc, LeBlanc towards this Kennen. It seems like it's an active choice for them to match up the LeBlanc into the Kennen.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly why. Maybe because of her nimber or flexibility, really.
She has a lot of potential to just dodge his abilities. Slicing Maelstrom is not going to be able to touch her with Distortion. Not going to be able to chase her down. So it's a safe pick for them to just push him in under the tower so they can have their assets other places on the map, making the focus onto the objectives, or giving onto the picks, because first time top lane's not going to be able to hold him in his place, and a lot of damage coming out from him, as we see the Eden Fox's LeBlanc here with the Luden's Echo finish really strong. And right now Copenhagen Flames is looking like they're dominating the second game of the semifinals. But Simon, what the Atlando has to do right now if they want to come back? But as we speak, maybe you're going 18 here.
Cal getting caught out here right now. Kalhira actually alone. He does charge his ulti here. Curtain call coming in from X Lunge. It is still just Kalhira. They're trying to finish off, but they use everything there. Last shot actually hitting Kalhira. Yulbo in trouble now, but they go so low. Eden Fox coming out with the sliver of health. 2 kills going over to the side of Copenhagen Flames. Almost look to be in the favor of Atlando here, but actually on the other hand turns into the favor of Copenhagen Flames. Only 4 from Copenhagen Flames on the side here. All 5 from Atlando. Very close to this fight, but not enough for them to win it. It goes over in the favor of Copenhagen Flames. And what I was about to say was, before I want to talk about Atlando, they push up in the middle from Copenhagen Flames. Then they all rotate in towards an already low cannon in the top side jungle, the blue side jungle here. They ward it up completely, and they know exactly what they're doing. So very nice that they try to defend it here from Atlando. Not quite working out, as they get the target they really don't want to focus, the cash cow in this case, which is he's died 2 times, and that is the only target they feel comfortable going for. Not really what you want to go for, but really nice work from Copenhagen Flames. And this is kind of what I want to see from Atlanta, right? You want them to set up the vision as well. Yeah. So once Copenhagen Flames gets the priority, you have someone already waiting in there, because you're aware they want to pressure there. They want to focus around the top side of the map. They want to focus around vision around Baron. If you have a trap there already as they come into the jungle, right, you spring it with the cannon, you spring it with the Yulbus Sejuani, something like that, with some CC, something that could lock them down instantaneously if you get the right target. That's what I think they should do right now, because they are almost 6,000-ish, almost 7,000 gold in the deficit right now. And Flames, they just get all the free vision. Yulbo is trying to clear some of it now, but look at all the pink wards. Look how long they've stayed up there, and they've been in that part of the jungle for I don't know how long.
Yeah. And once again, Gooby looking really strong and just keeps on turning, but hit by the first hit, but not going to be enough to chase him down. Kill Hero, the cash cow.
Flank coming in, actually! Oh, what do we see here? We come in with the flank, the slicing maelstrom going on a lot of people. Shut down going into the favor of Chris. He does get the first proc off the death from below, but after that they turn it around from Copenhagen Flames. Eden Fox and Nihus are on the chase. Lunge guts to flash out, double kill going down to Eden Fox. Flashing coming in from Nihus, Call of the Meek. Not enough to throw him down yet. Cow versus Pig. Who is going to win? Sad for the environment. It is the Cow that wins out on this one. Curtain call coming in. Can Lunge do anything about this? He hits the second bullet. Does he hit anything else? We do get to see Kalhira last hitting. Why? Maybe because of that epic battle of the animal farm that we saw previously. We couldn't distinguish animals from humans, and in the end, the Kalhira Cow comes out on top, 14-5. One more kill in the favor than the previous game of Atlando Esports, so they have that as a comforting excuse after the game, I suppose, in case they might lose this one, which is what it looks like. 6,000 gold, still in the lead, so not ballooned further. No. In the favor of Copenhagen Flames.
Really exciting team fight happening here in the bot side jungle. A lot of things happening. It was really hard to track of every ability cast there. Gets the reset on kills from the death from below, but not going to be enough because he's taken down fairly easy by Young. Take him down, and it's going to be 5 kills for Eden Fox. Taking down 2 members of side of Atlando with only 1 to spare for Atlando. That's not the best situation, but it's the best outcome that they could hope for in an all-out team fight right here. Getting out unscathed, especially Lunge, which was chased down by Nihus with the dominance on, just running after him tirelessly onto the tower, but not going to be able to get him with the curtain call coming out, zoning him away. Really well played by Lunge, keeping himself in the distance, and also, like, it was the best outcome Atlanta could hope for in such a fight.
Definitely. I mean, what it seems like they want and just half-heartedly expect when they do get the first kill. They want to get the pike rolling, right? They want to get the death from below procs rolling. And Copenhagen Flames seem to me that they recognize this. They do focus Krids down every single time he goes in, and they are just on him right off the bat, making sure he never gets to that point. And afterwards, after that, they just rotate around, making sure they get the priority to set up the vision that they want. Before, it was in the top side because they wanted to make some picks up there while they sieged on the turrets, top side and in the middle. Now they've rotated it towards the bot side because the dragon was spawning just before, and they get the mountain drake. And you see here, they get control of the jungle, then they rotate down towards the bot side after having applied pressure where they have to defend in the middle, and they can't see where they're going, so they have the inside track on Atlando, and they get the turret for it. Really, really nice job. Really nice macro from Copenhagen Flames. It just looks like a stronger team right now.
We didn't at all talk about the Kalhira versus Yulboy 1v1, the animal farm matchup, where the Cow comes out on top, shoves him back under the tower, and takes him down. What a 1v1 fight for the history books. Battle of the ages right there, and no one would have expected the Cow going out on top.
No, definitely not, especially because supposedly the pigs are smarter. Okay, Yulbo going in, he whiffs the Glacial Prison. Actually, it's the first one I've seen. He probably has used them in those chaotic team fights, but just as a proactive tool, it's the first time I've seen him use it, try to get out or pick out a target. And this time he whiffs it. Fine. I like this from Atlando. Just try to be proactive. When it goes off cooldown, you just wait. Try to get some of your own jungle. That's what they're doing here. Yulbo getting, or trying to get the blue buff, but he has to go out, I believe, and the blue buff going over to the face of Copenhagen Flames, who just try to take everything and, leave for them nothing.
Yeah, to repeat King Leonidas. But that's what we said we wanted to see from Atlando from the last game. We wanted to see some proactiveness, and they have shown up a little bit more. They're just not able to keep up with the lead that Flames have built for them right now. They're pushing out every single tower and every single side lane they can, and not really much for Atlanta to do to answer this push. They do have the Baron secured for them. No, they don't have. The Baron has spawned actually right now, and probably looking for them because the lanes are pushed up. It is going to be an opportunity, but the fight is going to be revolving around the Baron as the next objective.
Yeah, and we do get to see them methodically, very, very methodically gain the pressure first. You see Kalhira and Eden Fox actually staying inside of the jungle, defending the vision they've put down. They're not just going to leave it, which is what Atlando does every time they put vision down. They don't stay around the vision. They don't have a plan to play around the vision. They just put it down because that's what you're supposed to, and then they leave it behind. So they don't... Ooh, actually, Eden Fox distorting back in here, and that might be the fight for Atlando. Yulba going down really closely, or at least very close to. Krids going in, Young going down with the Cataclysm onto him. Krids stuck in between the rock and a hard place, but slicing Maelstrom coming in from the side. Kalhira now stuck, actually going into the favor favor of the opposing team. Kalhira, does he have the flash? He does have the flash. And on the other side, Nihu's coming in here on the second part of the fight. Rooted down is Jarvan, but they do get a kill towards Flame Scooby. Lunge going in on the side here, but he is caught out, and that is 3 kills in the favor of Copenhagen Flames just as the Baron spawns. It's almost like they choose to take their fights right before the objectives spawn, and lo and behold, another objective going into the bag of Copenhagen Flames, most likely.
That was so impressive from the side of Copenhagen Flames, playing around this jungle fight like they were clearly in disadvantages health pools wise, but they managed to juke around all the abilities, missing the death from below from the side of Chris, and just surviving, especially Young, who is just in the midst of the fight, surviving to the last breath, with coming out with just 100 HP on the side of his health bar. Really, really impressive play and great team play from the side of Copenhagen Flames, which was actually a great engage from the side of Atlando. But credit to Copenhagen Flames has to be given where it's due right here, because they played it so well in this jungle fight.
They did, and of course they are way farther in the lead. They have more golden items to play with, and that gives them extra stats in the team fights. But they see an opening because Eden Fox has to distort back in under the turret. Yulbo tries then to pick him out, and Klitz coming in from the side, as well as first-time top lane from the flank following that. Doesn't really get any targets with the slicing Maelstrom, and that's when the fight falls flat. Lunge is already overcommitted in the blue buff area, and he's being locked in by Nihu's coming down from the side. Yeah, really well played from Copenhagen Flames, and they have the extra time to play the longer fights because of the items, and they certainly show how to make use of it. Nobody goes down even, and that's really a shame, as we see Lunge actually going down towards the bottom side with Eden Fox there.
Holy shit, Eden Fox just taking down Lunge in a 1-second burst, too fast for the human eye to catch up on. Looking grim for Eden Fox right here as the engagement with the final chapter comes in from Felpo Yor, but it's not going to be enough, and Lunge gets taken down instantly, but also takes down Eden
top
Fox.
lane has to go right in on it there. Does actually use the stopwatch, but goes down. We do see the fight in the middle lane. Kalhira going forward towards Julbu first, and then Kliz afterwards. They have to go away, and the inhibitor in the middle lane is going down in the favor of Copenhagen Flames. They're looking towards the top side inhibitor, as well as Nihu's got a kill in the top lane, 1 versus 1. Nothing really working out in the favor of Atlanta right now, and in 6-19, they did get 2 more kills this game, but Copenhagen Flames got 1 more kill, and it's only 25 minutes in. I don't really think they care about the kills. Oh, actually, first Glacial Prison coming down. Nihu's getting out there, and they turn it around. Kliz actually in trouble now. Flames Kalhira. All right, nothing else happening here. I think they're content with the 2 inhibitors going down. They get out of dodge before any of them can go down, and I think they're looking towards the recall.
11k gold deficit on the side of Copenhagen Flames. 8 towers to 0. There are such... Julbo once again goes down for the 8th time as the TP comes in from Nihus on the super minion. Is going to be able to follow up. The slice of dice comes in, but not going to be able to follow up. Get hooked down by Krill, but escapes with his lives in check this time. Looking for just pushing out and ending this game in a painlessly manner. They are dominating this so much from the side of Copenhagen Flames. Atlando in a spot where they cannot really do much because the Baron buff with the super minions coming in through the mid lane, and they're not going to be able to answer it from the side of Atlando.
And they're knocking on the base.
It's just a death sentence at this point. There are the Cataclysm comes in for Slice Maelstrom trying to stop him, but it's not going to be enough. First time top lane getting really low, not enough damage coming in, but it's going to be taken down by Young here, and the Nexus goes down in the second game of the semifinals. Copenhagen Flames takes it once again, so consistently and so dominating through the entire game. What happened? Atlanta, where are you?
I mean, I don't know what to say. That looked so much like the first game. They get, like 20 kills in the end against the 6 of Atlando. It looks so similar to the first game. Yulba this time has 4 aneurysms and 4 strokes. Dies just 8 times, had the 1 escape play, and that's about it. He just sets them back so hard in the early game, and then they keep propelling the lead forward from that. Atlando, why are you not placing any wards? Damn you! Like, Copenhagen Flames, they do it every game. They have seen it twice now. I hope the coaches from Atlanta, they actually say something now, because it's frustrating for me to look at the fact that they don't place any vision down. They don't try to set up some traps. You can stay in your own jungle. As a jungler, right, when you're that much behind, you're not really going to get any farms. Just stand in a bush, place a goddamn pink ward. If there's no vision there, they might come there, and you can actually look to trap. Of course, you're going to place the pink ward in a place where they're likely to show up because there's an objective spawning nearby, and you know Copenhagen Flames is a very proactive vision placing team. We've seen that very extraordinarily good, I would say, but Atlando also makes it easy for them. So maybe do some traps, play towards the counter ganks. Don't be the proactive team. Pick more towards the scaling this time. Something like this with a lot of wave clear, I don't know. And just realize you don't have the macro to play up towards Copenhagen Flames as it is right now. Now it's the reverse sweep that they have to do. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, the reverse sweep definitely has to come up from Atlanta. They have to pull out some sort of rabbit from a hat right now if they want to stay in this semifinals. If they want to get to the finals, they have to pull out some magic trick that we haven't seen before. And Yulbo have to get a little bit distance, reconsider his life choices, because this early game was a goddamn disaster to say it at the least.
Great
Getting
tragedy.
caught out every time and time again, he's just getting caught up and dies 4 times in the early game. We just set Copenhagen Flames in such a lead that we're not being able to do anything. It was 10 towers to 0. Atlando didn't manage to get a single tower from the Copenhagen Flames lineup. Like what? How?
They didn't.
They didn't get a single tower.
Oh my god, that's so. That must be so frustrating. The only upside to this is Atlando can play really freely now. They should just reset and say, all right, whatever we did the 2 first games was just crap. Like, we can't use that. Throw our strategy out the window. Let's try something completely funky. Go for that. And wards, vision, please. The Koreans have taught us this in the West for so long, and I know it's been a more explosive game now. They've tweaked it so there are stealth mechanics and all that sort of hoo-ha and stuff like that. But vision is very important. Still, these control wards have to come down, and Copenhagen Flames are actually just schooling Atlando at this point. And it's going to be exciting to see what they do in the third game. This might just be, well, this is match point, and Copenhagen Flames, they can close out a really nice 3-1, go to bed early, and prepare themselves for a final tomorrow if everything goes well for them. So stay tuned. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Welcome to the third game. And hopefully, this time around, the Wolves are actually going to show us that they have teeth and they're just not...
That they are wolves and they're not chihuahuas.
Yes, exactly. Chihuahuas are lame. Wolves are cool. Come on, Atlando. Channel your inner wolf spirit animal, whatever, right? 2-0 in the favor of Copenhagen Flames in this third game. And now match point of the semifinal day here this Friday. And... what are they going to do? They did try something else, but they did unfortunately also have a pig on their team, and that pig was roasted, turned around, and sliced up into 8 pieces and fed to the entirety of the Copenhagen Flames team. So what do we see coming out from Atlando here? The different mental state? What are they going to do?
They definitely need to have a different mental state, Simon. That's a definite. Because the slice and dice, as you said, really earning its name with the pig just getting sliced and diced. Because there were nothing Atlando could do in this second game. And they need to have some new strategy coming out on the third game if they want to have a chance to even do a reverse sweep. Do we have what it takes to get the silver scrapes on in the fifth game? Right now, it's not looking so good for Atlando. But let's see. We need some new strategy. We need some new goods. A trump card coming out on the side of Atlando. What is it that they need to do, Simon? Do they need to, as you said, the vision score? The vision is the bread and butter of League of Legends right now. And they need to improve that.
That is for sure. I hope the coaching team, we actually do have them up here, not obviously right behind us, beyond the wall. And then
this is not the coaching team.
Up this way. I think is it up this way? Yeah. It's up this way. They're up here. And they're probably, we actually didn't get a look at them here in the break, unfortunately. But I do think they're talking about the vision. I do think they're talking about the mental state of things. You know, just turn it down, calm it the fudge down. Try to play for counter ganks instead, I would say. I'd actually try to choose a matchup that is maybe not necessarily favorable, but at least quite good in terms of the jungler matchup there. You try to look for counter ganks. You want to track the opposing jungler instead of being the proactive one, because every time Yulbo makes a proactive play or any sort of play or tries to do anything or makes a choice, it's the wrong choice. Yulbo, you make no choices, you cannot lose. And that's you know, on principle.
Simon 2019.
Yeah, that is on principle something I want them to look for, the counter gags instead. Then maybe pick something that has a lot of wave clear, something that plays well into their lane opponents. You pick for specific good matchups, but something that scales well as well. So you get the wave clear. You can always defend under turrets. Okay, you may have to give up some objectives for free, but rather that than being just ballooned out of a crazy lead and not being able to claw your way back in because you always take the wrong fights or at the wrong time. Maybe the fight is right in the later stages of the game, but they simply don't have enough gold. So I think there are a lot of things they can look at, and one of the elements is definitely wave clear and scaling, as well as vision for my part here. I don't know if you agree.
What I want to see here from the side of Atlando is some different comp strategizing. I want to see them go for the hard late game, get some scaling up in this biatch, to say it nicely. But like, get some hard late game, because they showed us how that they can play a team fight correctly. We saw it in this jungle fight. They're only losing 2 people, even though they were really far behind, getting 1 kill to their advantage. So they know how to play the team fights. We just have to have the scaling on their side. So even if they get behind, we need some safe banner to hold them in the game, saying, okay, guys, if we can get this like 35 minutes into the game, we can take this. Just keep it cool, wait for late game, scale up, and then take the game.
Yeah, definitely agree. And the fights have looked quite all right in the mid to late game from Atlando. Sometimes some of the fights have looked quite good. Eventually, Copenhagen Flames, because of the item deficit, they actually win out. They have so much more, so many more stats on their side because of the extra items, right? And then they win out in the end. But the initial parts of the fight, some of them actually look really good for this Atlando team. And if you come into that stage on an even scale, those fights are going to look way different. You might have the chance of actually winning a fight. And, I mean, fingers crossed, that is what we're going to see from Atlando right now, right? I said that this game would be a 3-2 in the favor of Atlando. I've actually always liked this team, and I think they've progressed and progressed and progressed. But right now, it looks more as if they've regressed from their previous stage. They had this nuanced play. They could play really offensively, but they could also play towards the scaling parts, play towards the later stages, and then go for really good fights, because Lunge is a really mechanically gifted player, and once he gets the breathing room from his teammates, he is that late game reassurance that they might want from a team. They have good solo laners. Krids has actually proven that when he rerolled from jungle into mid lane, that he has some really good mechanics when it comes to the assassins. His Silas is something that he's played a lot, and we haven't seen that yet. Maybe that's something we get to see. I mean, if we talk about champions, right? What do we want to see? Comfort picks. I have some of them written down here.
Okay.
We're just gonna block the camera.
We're just gonna block the camera.
Wait.
Okay, so that's like the Ivern I see.
Yeah,
and I
Ivern,
see,
that's a really
and I
good.
see like I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, let's talk about the picks here. As we said, the Silas you mentioned is a possibility. He did get quite a hefty nerf this patch. He did get the nerf to his E
that's maybe,
with these abscond, I think it's called, where he does not any. Why are you shaking your head?
Oh, I just agree with that
Okay,
nerf. I
okay.
really don't think that these new champions deserve to be so strong as they are, so I like that.
No.
Too bad for Atlando, though, not a champion that they can then use, maybe.
But yeah, like he does not longer any longer get a shield on his E, only if he hits a target with the chains. So definitely a big nerf coming on Silas. He did get increased heal on his Kingslayer, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Still a strong champion, played a lot in the pro scene as well, so it could be a possibility for Krids to pull out. It also depends a lot on the enemy team, what Copenhagen Flames going to pull out towards the Silas, what else they're going to give him. So he does depend on that as well, but it could be a possibility. It's a great champion to pick in any lane almost, great fighter. But what I want to see, as I said, something late game. A Ryze maybe, a Vayne maybe, something that they can scale safely into the late game and take the fights from there. Even if they are behind, they can still have like a grasp of hope in their hands to like take the third game and maybe get some confidence in themselves and maybe pulling it through to a fifth game.
Yeah, exactly. Shift the decision making towards Copenhagen Flames, the pressure towards Copenhagen Flames, right? If you can turn around this mental energy and get the boost from an actual win, and then if you win a second one as well, then right, all the pressure is going to be totally shifted towards Copenhagen Flames. But they have to win the first one, and the third game is always the hardest one. But maybe Copenhagen Flames is slacking off a bit. They might underestimate their opponents. It hasn't seemed that way. They have actually just looked really proficient. And maybe, okay, in terms of bans right now, I haven't mentioned champions that they could actually pick instead, but in terms of champion bans, instead of the Saya ban, instead of the, I don't recall actually what they banned.
Vladimir ban.
Vladimir ban, exactly. Why don't we get rid of the Ezreal, right? Google hasn't looked too hot on champions that doesn't have a secure gap closer, namely this Ezreal. That might create a chasm, a better level playing field. Maybe ban out the Renekton as well. Force Nihus onto another champion. His, I won't say ego, but that's what I mean. No, but he's a very great carry top laner, and he might think that he can pull off an even more mechanically tough champion to play. We've seen him on Irelia. He's been very good on Irelia, but he's also been very lackluster in some games on Irelia. So Renekton is not that tough to handle mechanically.
No.
Maybe shift the pressure in terms of how hard the champions they get to play are instead of them getting these easy to carry out win conditions and then changing it up a bit, because they've changed it up a bit on their side, but maybe they should look towards changing it up towards the Copenhagen Flames lab. Just as an information here, the players are really slow at getting into the lobby here. I think it's because Atlando really trying to figure out what they're gonna do. Maybe they're praying a little bit.
I think they're praying to the elder gods for some for advice how they're going into this third game of the semifinals. They need something. They need some help from the divine, I think.
Yeah, maybe they're channeling the last march of the Ents, but before you get to do that, you have to have an Ent mood, and it takes a very long time to say something in Old Entish, and they don't take their time to say anything unless it's, worth saying.
They could speak for centuries.
They could. And that might be the case here, and the strategy department certainly needs an overhaul from Atlando. And I know we're picking on them, but we're casters.
Yeah.
We have that prerogative. We're gold players, right? we really suck at the game, so we can say almost everything here. And
we get away with it.
Yeah, we get away with it. You viewers are going to scrutinize us, but we're here, you're there, and we get along just fine. Just kidding, of course, here. Okay, but what do you think about the bans actually coming in here? No, actually, we do get into the pick ban right now. I want to see different bans from Atlando now. Still, Atlando on the blue side. That means that Copenhagen Flames has again chosen the red side, but you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Yumi getting banned out now, so definitely a different game.
For the first game, she's not going to be in here, which is a great possibility for Atlanta, because we've seen, especially in the first game, a lot of great last final chapters coming out. Great CC, a lot of safe potential in the indicator. As we speak, the Ezreal ban comes out. There you go, Atlando. You have listened to us.
Yes.
You have chosen us to listen to guide you towards the path
Gold
of
won
victory.
my ass. Yeah.
Listen to the gold free players. That's the way to go.
All right. Still the same bans actually coming in from Copenhagen Flames. They don't want the Mordekaiser, they don't want the Gragas, and Jarvan. Okay, something that they have played the 2 last games as well, so I like that going away from Young. It is a very early game proficient jungler. Yulbo maybe have or has a post-traumatic stress after the previous game, so no more Jarvan. Definitely like this, and they've definitely shifted it up here in the third game, as we do see the Zed being banned out again. Saya coming in as the AD carry.
Yeah, she was banned out in the last 2 games, so now Lunge has taken it to himself to play this champion. It could be paired with Rakan. It is open unless Nihus prefers to pick it as first, take it away from him, because Saya Rakan is probably one of the most prominent lanes, I would just say. But as we speak, and as we can see on Simon's really excitement, it's gonna be the Aurelia pick onto Nihus, which as we speak we've seen a lot of play on the Aurelia on Nihus. He is a very confident Aurelia player, and she is a little bit lackluster sometimes, but could also definitely carry this game. So it's gonna be exciting to see what it's gonna be matched up against onto the side of Atlando.
Don't pick Kazakhs. Don't pick Kazakhs. Good.
Oh,
Alright,
there it came.
We do get to see the lovers duel. I like this. A lot of CC set up from this bot lane to get the shared recall as well, and some extra procs on the thingy, malingy. I don't remember what it is.
The W?
I think that's...
They get the shared W. They get the attack speed buff.
Yeah,
from
exactly. That's
Yeah.
that's the one. That's the one. I never recall actually what the advantage is there. But you get some wave clear from the Sire, right? You have the feathers coming in. You have the feather storm coming out as a defensive tool as well. Not.
Oh, I was just about to have a small heart attack just with the Kazakhs. This Shaco getting hover here, the killer clown, not going to be able to make it into the third game. But it's going to be the Elise for Yulbo right here, taking it away from the side of Young, who has already picked Sejuani. The early game champion coming in. This focus has shifted a bit from where it was Young taking the early game into contesting Yulbo, but now it's reversed. We have Yulbo on the Elise, which is a very good point in this meta, with Urunigate Coast being almost free in this meta. But right, I was talking about the Vladimir, the last 2 games he was banned, but now he's getting picked, probably to Eden Fox, who does play a very, very great Vladimir, and he's such strong right now in this meta.
Yeah, and they did have the chance to actually pick that on the side of Atlando, so I don't really understand why they wouldn't do that. Elise, okay, you bet everything on the early game. Maybe you want to reset mentally rather quickly. That's what you prioritize, at least. Or maybe it's just because you want Yulbo to actually have a great early game as opposed to a really horrendous one. And Sejuani is definitely one of those characters you can really play into with an early game jungler and try to oppress her. We saw it last game. I don't think he's going to replicate the invade level 2 as we saw from the Jarvan, because that's really risky and you got to know what you're doing. But then again, maybe not. And we do have the Vladimir here. We have the Aurelia as well. Those are actually flex pickable. You can or swap them around, so it's not necessarily me who's playing the Aurelia. I do think that it is, though. Because we haven't seen Eden Fox really play the Aurelia, as I believe, but he has played the Vladimir, and it is one of his
hold on just a minute before we confirm anything, because Vladimir has been seeing a spike in play rate both in solo queue and in pro play in the top side, and it is where he's really, really strong right now. So I could see the possibility of Nihus taking Vladimir, and Eden Fox has actually played Aurelia a couple of times in the LCD, especially this season and last season as well. So it is still a possibility. So don't confirm anything yet, but I see where you're coming from. But we didn't get to talk about the second ban phase that we just moved into, and the second ban has come in, and it's going to be Riven and LeBlanc from the side of Copenhagen Flames, and Morgana and Cillian on the side of Atlanta. What do you think about this ban, Simon?
It's obvious that the 2 solar laners are the last 2 ones that could come in here in the favor of Atlando. They want to get out the LeBlanc and the Riven in case of them going full on early game, which is something that could throw them off for a ball game with the Aurelia, with the Vladimir. Vladimir definitely a scaling one, Sejuani scaling, Alistar extra CC coming in, but not very proficient in terms of winning the lane. Just more of a defensive lane with setup, though. And so I like these bans coming in. But we do see the Hecarim coming in as a counter pick, I suppose, to the Aurelia. And they're going to maybe flex that around if the Aurelia goes mid. I suppose they want to match the Hecarim against that. They have seen both solo laners, so they have had a long time to get to choose what they want to play into. It's going to be nice to see what they pick here. I think maybe the Sylas is going to come in, and that's what they're hovering right now, even after the nerfs.
No, it's going to be the Pyke once again for Chris. It looks like, yeah, it's going to be locked in here. And looking a very strong early game from the side of Atlando right here. Hecarim top side against the probably Aurelia, we don't know yet, as the Bard get hovered once again, just like last game. Not going to be the pick. Hopefully, I don't think so. It would make Revo very happy to play against this Bard, but I don't think that's what we're going to see. No, it's probably going to be a Kali hovered here, and it's been a bit of time.
Bullshit.
No,
I call BS. It's none of those. None of the above.
Oh, the cancer giant herself.
Really?
The pseudo Disney princess of death. Right here locked inside to Eden Fox.
Yeah.
Which means it's gonna be the Gooby playing the Vladimir. Nothing we would have expected as an AP carry in the bot side. Okay.
Well, they haven't. Okay. We don't know for sure yet that that's going to happen.
We know for sure.
They can swap it back around.
We know for sure.
Yeah,
Simon.
How do you know for sure?
We know for sure.
We can't possibly know for sure that that's where they're going, right? Like, but there's the like they have until 20 seconds and then they can swap it around.
But we know for sure.
But if they don't swap it around.
But we know for sure.
If they don't swap it around, we know for sure.
But we know for sure.
Okay. And now, for sure, Vladimir Flames, Scooby playing that in the bot lane against Desire and Rakan. Very defensive lane. They don't have a lot of pressure push-wise. Very weird champion selection coming in from the Copenhagen Flames. Apparently, they feel very, very comfortable. And two very either AD-oriented drafts or AP-oriented drafts, right? Like on the side of Atlando, a lot of AD apart from the Elise coming in, and on the side of Copenhagen Flames, just a lot of AP coming in as well, right?
Like the Vladimir, the Zoe, and the Sejuani, they only have the raw AD from the side of Nihus in the top lane on the Aurelia. What I see them lacking is a distinct AD carry. It's gonna be a little bit harder to take these objectives, the Baron, the Dragons, because they don't have to sustain 80, which is a lot of how you take the Dragons and the Barons early game at least. So
I just wanted to use the horns.
Can you go out?
Okay,
I'm taking the solo. I'm taking the solo. Okay. So welcome back to LCD Summer Split semifinals. No.
Okay.
My name is LQG. I'm gonna be solo casting this night. Get back in here, Simon.
God damn it! All right, I'm back in.
Okay, but no. In all seriousness, this is looking really weird for Copenhagen Flames. As we said, they don't have the sustained AD damage that they maybe need to take the objectives or in the fights. They do have it on the side of Atlando with the Lava Stewer and the bot side, which I could see going very, very well in the early game, especially. But the only difference is it's a very safe bot lane they have on the side of Copenhagen Flames. We have Sanguine Pool to protect Guppy on the Vladimir, and we have the Cow to just push them away. But Rakan and Sai is a very strong bot lane. All around, Atlando's comp is looking to going for this early game and get themselves ahead to just snowball and win this third game.
Yeah, definitely. What was the top laner of Atlando this game? I don't recall. They had the jungler.
Hecarim.
It was Hecarim, yeah, exactly. An exciting pick that we hadn't seen before. That's why I didn't remember. The horse. Remember? The horse, of course. And, I mean, do you want me to ask you the question this time around, or do you want to ask the win condition question? Because
Simon, what do you think are the win conditions of this third game?
Do I get to choose a lineup that
You get to choose the lineup. Flames or Atlando?
I really want to talk about Atlando's win conditions this game. They have a lot of AD. I've mentioned this. This is a weakness. And Hecarim, right, playing with the teleport and the ignite in the top lane is going to be exposed in the early game. Sejuani, a weak jungler, so I would see Elise pressuring her off, making sure that the Hecarim gets a good start. And that's the ideal setup. They want to play towards the top side of the map. That's towards Pyke. That's towards Hecarim. You want to set up for a mid game where these 1-3-1-ish laners with the flexibility of playing towards a sort of 4-1 as well. You have the flexibility to play both styles with this composition. Pyke, not a great 1-versus-1 champion, but you can send him out. He has the quick roam potential back into the mid lane, and through that you can get the priority to get the fights that you want. Hecarim as well, you push it out, you get in, roaming from the sides with both Pyke and Hecarim, and then they do this. and everything dies if you do it right. And that's what I want to see, right? You have a lot of pick potential from the Elise Cocoon. You have the hook coming in from the pike. You have some feathers that can knock targets down if you get the first initial picks. You have the Hecarim Onslaught of Shadows, that sort of stuff coming in. So I like the early game with the Elise coming in, try to pressure that way, because Yulba has just had such atrocious early games. You give him a champion that can actually do something, duel as well, and then he just has to make sure that these side laners get what they have coming for them, as well as the late game insurance from the bottom side with the CC coming in from Rakan, the Wayfler coming in from Saya, with the self peel from the Feather Storm. So. Yeah. Nice composition all in all, except for the fact that it's a lot of AD coming in, but also a lot of nuke, and they want to see it through in the early to the mid game stages.
Yeah. But as a side of Flames, it's on a late game, I think, for them, because they do have a very, very safe early game, and that's what is picked against this very aggressive style from the side of Atlando. So they just have to survive the first 15, 20 minutes, and they're probably good from there. They can just survive and burst them down with the Zoe, with the Vladimir, get so strong later into the game, even with the Zoe getting strong all around the game. Please, Raito, delete this champion at once, because we don't want to see her anymore.
So you feel that way about Zoe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do see why people feel that way about Zoe, and the thing about her getting all the summoner spells that you can just pick up all around the place, you get an extra flash, you get.
Yeah, because first we got a champion who steals summoner spells, then we got a champion who steals ults.
Yeah.
Right, when are you done?
Yeah, and it just seems like the kits that are being created now, you have this new stealth obsession coming in, but then on top of that, every champion is able to pull off at least 6 to 7 different sort of abilities instead of the normal 4. Like, why don't we get a clunky 4 mechanic champion as in
we
the
need
good old
a
days?
new Udyr.
It sets up for the better outplays, in my opinion. I think, okay, you want to create these champions with all these sorts of mechanics, then you have to tune the game in a different way so that they have the potential to outplay one another. We are in a pause right now, so just be cool out there. That's why we haven't gotten into the game yet. So we're going to talk about our touch on the meta, how we're getting stomped in the solo queue in Gold 1, and how that reflects onto a very analytical and rightfully so direction when it comes to speaking on how the game state is. And right now, it feels like there are a lot of champions with a lot of overtuned kits. I would have to agree. I don't know how the pros think it is, but it seems like the games are going a lot faster now. It is turning into a Counter-Strike-ish plethora platform. But enough about that. That is our opinion. Share your opinion about what champions you think are good and bad. Right now, we're getting into the third and maybe final game between Atlando Esports and Copenhagen Flames. Copenhagen Flames, of course, leading 2-0 in this best-of-5 scenario with a wonky composition coming in. And I don't think, actually, we touched enough on what they can actually do, because you said they are missing out on an AD carry, the consistent output damage. So they would have to probably nuke the targets, set up through actually their ultis, the way they can pick out people with a good Vladimir ulti. They have to combine their efforts. They have a good tower diving possibility with the Sejuani, with the Alistar, and then Eden Fox can just snipe out the remainder of the targets while Nihus cleans it up. But definitely a composition that is set around, I would say, Gubi and Nihus getting the kills set up by Young and Kalhira going in first, and then Eden Fox just sniping out the remainder. I think that's the idea, and a lot of tower diving potential. I think they want to test this out. I think this is being a little bit frivolous, but that could come to bite them in the bottom. But we'll just have to see, as Atlando hasn't been doing so hot in the first 2 games, and it's on them definitely to turn this around.
What I can't wait to see in this game is the team fights. If we get a decently evenly balanced game in the early game, the teams can go even. We can get so amazingly coordinated team fights later on, because both teams have a very, very strong team fight. Mm-hmm. We have the Glacial Person from Young. We have the Vanguard's Edge from Nihus, Hemoplague, Gubi. There are so many tools inside Copenhagen Flames, but also inside of Atlando. Death from Below, Onslaught of Shadows, Featherstorm, the quickness. Both teams have so many tools to just make a wombo combo that
and an early gank coming in towards the top side. The guy without the flash actually seeing to go down, and the first blood going in the favor of Copenhagen Flames, and this time Nihus on the Irelia that we had our speculations on whether he could pull off, but of course if you get that much of an early gank from a Sejuani, mind you, that's going to be all she wrote, and first blood going on to Irelia.
Yeah, the thing I said about going evenly in the early game, we can just throw that out the door. I take it back.
Yeah. It seems like that's what we're gonna have to do. On the other hand, though, Yulbo is counter jungling on the opposite side. Will be interesting to see if Young is bold and brassy enough to actually is hovering towards the top side, waiting for first time top lane to come back. Oh no!
First time top
Flash
lane.
coming in from Nihus. Stun coming in. Glacial, whatever it is that catches him out, and Flames Young.
First time top lane.
Oh
The
no!
horse gets put down instantly once again. 0-2 to the side of Copenhagen Flames. The second kill goes over to the jungler, which is now 1-on-1 with Nihus, which is also 1-on-1. It's not looking very, very good. And poor horse. What does he have to do? There's nothing he can do.
Well, this is one of those instances where you, like, do you really have to play Hecarim with teleport and ignite? It just
You kind of have to.
But I've never. I suppose it has to do with the kill pressure that you need to have on a Hecarim to be able to snowball the champion. But it's just so bad right now, and you see how it can really just blow up in your face. And obviously they communicated this before the game started, that Young was about to apply pressure topside. And Yulbo, he does get the counter jungling going on, but after that, Young just goes and gets the blue buff as well. And so, yeah, he loses some camps, and Yulbo has more farm right now, but it's not major compared to 2 kills and 2 assists going on to the top player of Copenhagen Flames. As we see Yulbo actually coming in from the side here, but not enough, as we see a sleepy trouble bubble landing towards Chris. And yeah, just a little bit of trading coming back and forth, but Yulbo wanting to assert some pressure on the map, not exactly what he wanted there in the mid lane, as so he does not get baited in any way, shape, or form.
It seemed just a little bit threatening as the only thing from the side of Yulbo right here. Coming in with Eden Fox pushed all the way through his tower and not being able to get anything on him. Eden Fox popping the rank 7 mastery just to beat him a little bit. It's always a good thing, because what was Yulbo doing there? He has no business in the mid lane. Just farm up instead. Get yourself a little bit ahead, get yourself your runic echoes, and just then begin to gank. Get these one shots with Elise. And that's where you have to like put your assets to, because right now he couldn't really do anything.
You're not going to be able to gank the bot lane, that's for sure, because that would have to be a tower dive. Of course, Elise is good at that. You can juggle the tower dive potential, but it is a Vladimir and a cow. I am blanking the name.
Alistar.
Alistar. That's right.
Yeah.
And
don't worry, you only do this once a week.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. You're right. There's no preface for me actually knowing the names of the champions, so that's cool. And I don't see them actually diving this.
No, I don't either.
Sort of bot lane, you have the Alistar with the knock up the headbutt, and you have Vladimir with his pool. It would have to be incredibly well executed, but still, Yulbo, okay, he's just clearing towards the bot side. Seems like he has chosen to target the middle laner, mainly Eden Fox, who sits on a cleanse, so that's also going to be really hard. And this Elise, I find it really hard to see how it's going to pay dividends in this game. I really don't see a way in unless he starts ganking the top lane, which is already behind, but maybe that's the only redemption that they have. And actually, Kalhira going quite low here on the backhand of this trade in the bot side.
We could be seeing another gank into the top side, because Young is standing in the trap, who's waiting to gank the horse for a third time. Poor man.
Somebody's coming in from a tower dive now. And just as we said, it couldn't be done. They're actually trying to pull it off. Flash coming in from Kalhira here. What is going on? Teleport coming down. He does go down, though. The juggling works out this time around. Gooby trying to get a kill on the backhand of this fight. Can't do it. Lunge goes out and about. Has to force his flash out. But they do pull it off after the first chunk of damage going down on the cow. And in that case, Kalhira goes down. He didn't have a flash. Well, actually, he burned it offensively, trying to be the proactive guy on the opponent.
I would actually say it was a nice flash. He flashed over the cocoon here from the side of Yulbo, which was really impressive, seeing that mechanically. Getting over to get the pulverize. And it wasn't going to be enough, unfortunately, because the spider just went up in her web and dodged the tower shots, and that's just gonna be it for you. And that means the cow goes down, which is gonna be the first kill for the side of Atlando right here. Maybe a little bit of redemption going over to Yulbo, which is actually a great asset to have the kills on, have the gold on, because but he's coming in with the Steel Bolter. Can he get the flash come out for Eden Fox instantly to dodge it? But where's the repel gets popped here? Not going to be able to get a kill, but gets the summoner from the side of the mid laner from Copenhagen Flames here, which is a great asset when you're playing Pyke.
Yeah, they do get the flash out, which is mainly the one you want. Of course, the redemption coming in from Zoe. Where did you get that from? Did you build that item? No, I didn't. I'm Zoe. Whatever. Still has the cleanse, which is good to dodge out on the ganks here, but if you get hit by both the hook and the cocoon, then you're in dire straits. And very nice summoner to be forced out, and I expect Yulbo to just show up within the next 5 minutes in this mid lane as well.
Also, if we take a look bot lane, we haven't touched much upon beside this bot lane tower dive we just saw a few minutes earlier. There's been exerted a lot of pressure from the side of Linge and Fredrik just pushing both Gubi and Kahira on the tower for most of the game, putting himself in just a little bit over 10 CS lead, 15 CS lead to the side of Lynge here, which is very great for them because we have not seen Young put a lot of time into the bot lane. He's been top lane most of the game, which has actually helped them out quite a lot, helping him to build a little bit of a lead with the Lava Stewer, get themselves in a position where, okay, we can maybe start to fight them soon.
Yeah, and it's nice to see for Atlando that they have a winning lane, like an actual winning lane. Of course, it's more because that they're trying stuff out from Copenhagen Flames, as you say, than their draft falling short. Of course, I don't know. It remains to be seen what they will do with this composition, how they're going to execute it, and the later the stage goes, it's going to be harder for Yulbo to actually pull off these tower dives in the bottom lane. As we see a stun coming in the top side, top lane, first time top lane has to get out. Just speeds himself up on this really nice arcade skin on the Hecarim here, and he gets out just fine. But Nihus is not quite done with first time top lane, or actually maybe he is. He goes back in. I don't know what these two want. Do they want to do? What do they want to do? He misses the stun. The Vanguard's hits come down, but the Onslaught of Shadows comes down too. And first time top lane duels a person that is way, way, way ahead of him. And, well, Irela just wins out. Nihus proves who is the better top laner at the moment. And this Ignite doesn't give him anything in terms of the 1 versus 1.
I should say that the best top laner, it is his first time playing top lane on the side of Atlando, so we have to just... Yeah, we have to stay. We can't judge him. It is his first time top lane, so...
A weird choice for such a competitive team to choose a first time top laner, but, you know, whatever. It's hard to find top laners, actually, that are proficient here. Ooh, Sleepy Trouble Bubble hitting the Yulbo here. Oh. Actually, coming in from the side, very nice Glacial Prison, and then it's 1-4 in the favor of Copenhagen Flames. Maybe they want to get close too. Actually, whiffs just now, and the same, the debt is repaid, I should say, from Fredrik does miss the knock-up here from his W, and just a kill in favor of Copenhagen Flames. They only have the 1 kill on Atlanto's side now, and it starts to look like the previous games... the previous 2 games, right, where they do look like... Oh my
so close,
God.
kept out with his life in check just in the last second. One more auto attack, and that would have been it for the zombie sailor. There was no chance at all. And as we saw before, Eden Fox has a lot of damage on the Zoe. He absolutely annihilated Yulbo when the Glacial Prison came in from Young here. There was nothing actually he could do at all. So... Great to see that they're just utilizing the strength that comes from Eden Fox right now. He doesn't have any kills, but that doesn't mean he doesn't hurt.
It was a fine hit. Oh, he's actually looking to duel Eden Fox here, but he gets his 3rd redemption in the lane. How frequent does the redemption?
I don't know. It's not okay.
No,
I'm emailing Riot after this.
Yeah, we should definitely email Riot. I mean, I know there's a political correctness agenda saying that little girls have to be all powerful now for some reason, but they're little girls. Their muscles haven't developed yet. Like where would they get the strength, right? And on top of that, the redemptions. It's just, you know, it seems like political correctness for the sake of political correctness, and she's just very, very strong.
It seems like favoring one culture over another, right?
Yeah, it does, right? Like, what about us crybaby men out here? Yeah. Don't we deserve...
We also want to be powerful.
Yeah, we want a little boy champion. Echo, of course, you could say, but he's not
He's a teenager.
Yeah, he's kind of a teenager.
And he controls time.
Yeah, so pitch in there in the chat. Like, what would you like to see?
Chris
Chris actually
coming
coming in here. He does hit the hook. Eden Fox has to use his cleanse, but on the side, Yulbu comes in. No, Young comes in towards Yulbu. On the other side, coming in here with the onslaught of shadows is first-time top lane. Who's actually winning out here? Young looks to be in trouble, but that's not enough. The death from below comes down from Chris. He doesn't get the kill. Knock up coming down. Shutdown going down towards Young from the side of Fred på Jord. The fight, incredibly enough, actually only throwing down one kill in the favor of Atlando this time around. And we do see one of these long extended fights that looked pretty good from Atlando the last game, but not quite able to pull through. This time around, they do get the one kill over Copenhagen Flames, and they get to claw back a little bit of this deficit that has been haunting them so much in the previous two games, and this game also.
Yeah, really well played from Atlando right here. A thing we wouldn't expect to see, especially because Copenhagen Flames is a bit far ahead. The TP comes in from the side of Neos. No, I think actually Scooby came into the fray with the TP, but not going to be able to take him down. Great play from Chris here, who does get caught up by the Alistar, but it's not going to be enough to chase him down, and that means that Fred på Jord can just chase down Young and take the kill, which is very, very great considered the position they were in earlier. 1 kill to 4, and still they managed to come out with the team fight on top.
Yeah, it was quite back and forth. First, it looked like Atlanta was engaging, then it looked like Copenhagen Flames was engaging, then it looked like Atlanta was engaging again, and then it looked like Copenhagen Flames was engaging, and it turned back and forth, and I really like that fight. And it means that they're only actually 700 gold behind now, as opposed to 1,200.
Gold, yeah.
That's not too bad. Oh, actually, Featherstorm being forced out by a nice headbutt knock-up pulverize by Kalhera as Young and Eden Fox. They're actually rotating down. They're looking towards Lunge. The Vanguard is coming in here from Nihus, and he has to flash out. So that is down. And Yulba coming in from the side lane here. Not looking too hot. Can he get down to Vladimir? He does actually get him.
He goes down
one
to the spider.
One, we have to presume here. Yes, one for one, but very good from him, and very sloppy actually from Gooby.
Yeah, I think the pool was up, actually.
Yeah, I think so too. And even if it wasn't, why just join in there?
Yeah, he got a bit of greedy. He went for the kill, I think. He wanted to get this strength onto the Vladimir. But great play from Yulber, actually, here. Getting chased out, maybe caught out in a bit of a bad space, but taking down the enemy AD carry in the turn, which is a great trade for them, actually.
It is a great trade for them, and that means still 700 gold deficit, but you get a little bit more gold in the pocket of the early game jungler. Yulbu gets some more ability to influence the game, I suppose, but the value of an Elise, of course, is... we have to get up here as the game does go into a pause. We don't actually know why.
No, we don't know why. But enough about that. Let's talk about a little bit what happened, what occurred in this last 4-5 minutes, because a lot of things happened. We've seen a little bit of a turnaround from the side of Atlando, even though they were a bit behind from the start. Have seen some redemption moments, especially from the side of Yulbo, and also from the side of Lunge, who has actually put himself in quite a lead with this push that have been going through the bot side, taking himself into, I think, 30 CS deficit
40
down in the bot side, which really has set them up, especially on the Lunge side, who could really be a force to be reckoned with later into this game.
Yeah, exactly. Lunge hasn't had the potential of actually showing off his carry skills. It seems like it's lag going on in the game now, but Lunge hasn't been able to show off his carry skills because the games have been so explosive, and he hasn't really gotten to the stage where an AD carry is proficient yet. Right now he has a lead of 40 CS almost, and that means he gets more space. You don't have the continuous output of damage from the Copenhagen Flames lineup, as they don't have an AD carry or traditional AD carry this game. So they would have to burst a target. If they don't get to burst a target and Josiah has the Featherstorm, right, then Lunge might get all the space he needs or can create the space for himself with the Featherstorm. And in that way, he might be able to actually really turn this game on his head, or this best of 5 series on his head. But the game state right now, it's 3-5. 700 gold lead in the favor of Copenhagen Flames, but there are some deficits around the map that they can work with from Atlanto's side, and the biggest deficit from their side is probably in the top lane, where we have a 0-3. The horse.
Yeah, the horse has not had a great time in this early game, with Young coming up, just completely annihilating the horse right from the get-go. He hasn't had a chance to just be himself, just staying quietly in the lane, fire him up, pick some flowers, just smell the green grass in the rift. Yeah. He has had no chance because it was a bloodbath on the side of Copenhagen Flames with Young, with Nihus. He didn't have a chance at all.
Yeah, and again, I would like to praise Young for this really original early game once again. The previous game, it was him invading on Yulbu, level 2. This time, it was not one gank, but 2 successful ganks in a row on a non-suspecting, non-flash inhibited horse in the top lane, and thus he sets up for a great start. But that great start is being caught up on right now from the side of Atlando. There's definitely a fighting chance. I know we've said this before, but in this scenario, with this composition, Copenhagen Flames might have given Atlando an opening, and Atlando, I think they're going to say, yes, please. We're going to play this to the best of our ability. We're going to set it up for Lunge now. They should realize now it is about Lunge. It's about getting the space for him. Trying, of course, to get the picks with the Pike, with the Elise Cocoon, because they do get squishy as we do get back into the game. So we're going to get the answers shortly. It was a little bit of lag. I don't know exactly which player was inhibited by it, but no matter now, we get to see the second stage of this game.
But Simon, do you think, yes or no, completed definite answer, can Atlando win this game and take it into a 4th game?
I think they have a better chance this game. We see the first turret actually going down in the favor of them, and now they've equalized the gold deficit. They're both on 24,300 as an opposing answer from Copenhagen Flames. They're going towards the Rift Herald. Young and Kalhira looking to take this objective down. Not being the wiser from the side of Atlando, who have started actually the Drake in the bot side, which was it was
Cloud Drake going over to the side of Copenhagen. Sorry, to Atlando here in answer of Shelly going down to the favor of Copenhagen Flames. Gonna be a lot better for Copenhagen Flames to open up the map in their favor, especially because they're probably going for the late game. The early game is not going as well as Atlando maybe anticipated with this comp in mind, but well. It's a bit like it's a win-lose for Atlanta right now. They know, okay, they're going to get Shelly, we can contest it, so we should probably just get Cloud Drake. It's the best we can do right now.
It's nice, the Cloud Drake, though, because Hecarim gets extra damage from the movement speed. You have this potential of playing the 1-3-1, so extra movement speed for the roams is something that serves well for the Pike as well, something that serves well for a Elise that would want to gank on the sidelines. And Lunge has to use the Featherstorm here. Don't think that he's going to survive this. And Vanguard's Edge coming in as well. And here we see the nuke coming in from 3 players onto 1. Not exactly what you want. Lunge alone here in the top side as a 4th
a 4th redemption. Right? What is this?
Yeah, I suppose we're going to have to count that the rest of the game now.
Yeah.
See how many redemptions she gets up to. It's been 16 minutes, so a lot of redemptions coming in here. Frelpova tries to engage as the bot lane of Copenhagen Flames has found themselves in the top side. First time top lane coming in from the back here. Eden Fox has to flash out over into an original path over to the Raptors. Really like that. And he does get out, but also a very nice roam from first time top lane. That's what we want to see. Engage coming in from the top side here. Yulbo actually looking towards the Vladimir. He doesn't, he goes into the stopwatch, into the stasis, and Yulbu decides to go out on the backhand of this one, but they force out the stopwatch from the Vladimir. He has used this and won't get it back until he gets the Sonias. Maybe that's the next item he's going for. Hard to tell. Looks like it by his items, but we'll have to see. Maybe it's because there's so much AD on the side of Atlando, and that's why he's buying that second, possibly. Actually, Kalhira might be caught out here in the second half of this top fight. He has procced his ulti, doesn't get to... the redemption!
Oh, the redemption comes in for the 5th time!
Death from below coming in from the side here. Chris actually roaming in from the side. Doesn't look so hot. Onslaught of Shadows going in towards the Vladimir. Doesn't get a kill. They've spent all their ultis. They do get the turret, but Nihus, he does get the turret in the mid lane. Eden Fox coming in from the side here. Paddle Star. Sleepy Trouble Bubble landing as well on Yul, but they have to just, be the point guard here for the Spider. Doesn't go down, and a turret for a turret, all in all.
A lot of things getting popped up here in the top lane, looking like it's fight cooking, but not going to be able to get it off the stew this time because nothing really happened. They got the tower, yes, but so much got burned, not being able to take down any of the Copenhagen Flames members for Atlando this time, which it kind of look weird because they were burning so much. They were so confident in this. Okay, now boys, now we're going in. We're gonna take this team fight. We're gonna win it. But they were not able to catch anything. They didn't lose anything, but they didn't get anything either.
No, I agree, and I think maybe it has to do. I want to say this because I think it's maybe the vision. The vision hasn't looked too good from Copenhagen Flames this game, and Atlando has actually looked quite a lot better. If you look at the vision right now, okay, it's not too hot, but they do have 3 pink wards down in awkward places, so they're at least on the map. And I like this idea instead of placing them somewhere where you won't defend them and they're just going to get picked off right off the bat again. So that vision supplies them with some information on the map so they can sort of deduct where they would be otherwise on the other spaces of the map, the dark spaces. And that's really good. It gives you information to actually play around, and I think that's why they had this great fight in the top side, because the Vladimir and the Alistar, they didn't see them coming. They didn't have the vision down for it. And Death by Below, actually, just out of the blue coming in from Chris here, actually executing the Zoe, making Theodore smile a little bit here as we get a kill down towards on this Zoe, the oppressive champion that we've talked a little bit about in this game. And it's now a 4-6, almost even game right now. 300 gold in the lead of Copenhagen Flames still, as Nihus is looking to trap a horse, but not anything further. And the topside turret might just, no, it doesn't go down just yet. Almost. It actually does go down. Kahira is engaging, and we spool away. Onto the side comes the Rakan, who's going to get engaged on. It is Atlando right now. They actually get to peel back. Almost going down is Vladimir. Young going forward still, but Lunge keeps going. The sustained damage is what they want in this fight, and actually looks quite a lot better. Copenhagen Flames can't really return the damage. Kahira is trying to zone off the opponent's kills coming in from the side, looking to hook down the Alistar, okay, they don't want to go for him, but here we see actually why it's so important to have an AD carry. You get this sustained damage, so if you can peel back from the first nuke from Copenhagen Flames composition, you actually get the time to just re-up the fight and go back in with the cooldowns off the bat, and then the sustained damage from Lunge coming in, really dealing out the damage here. Almost killing Flame Scooby, and we do see the Ocean Drake going down in the favor of Atlando as well, off the...
Oh, fatality as Eden Fox goes down instantly to the spider and the zombie sailor. There is nothing really he could do. Once the cocoon has landed, she was on death row. An absolutely execution from the side of Atlando right here, getting the kill in favor of Krills here, getting his first kill of the game, I believe.
Yeah, and Atlando is now in the lead. They 5-6, of course, in kill score, so not in the lead on that one, but they are 300 gold in the lead. They have...
which is the first time for this series.
It is the first time for this series. They did have the lead a little bit in the first game, just for a brief moment with the 2-0 kill score. But right now, looking very good for Atlando. They've seemingly found their groove. Of course, it's a kind of reduced composition from Copenhagen Flames here, maybe a little bit. Maybe something they haven't practiced too much, but something they felt they could try out the way that Atlando has played. But maybe they've handed them an olive branch here, and Atlando's saying, thank you very much. We want back in this game. We want back in the possibility of going to finals. So, thanks, Copenhagen Flames, but you're going to live to regret this as Chris actually gets out here. A lot of emphasis on the vision right now from Atlando Esports. I like it a lot.
They have heard our prayers and put down the vision wards as we told them to, as the Elder Gods told them to. And right now, it's looking better and better for Atlantis, just as you said. 5 kills to 6, 2 towers to 2, and a little over... actually, it's very, very even in gold right now. 36.4k to
Eden
each.
Fox getting caught out again, almost on the backhand there, getting hit by the cocoon. Yulba has to flash out as he gets stuck in between the rock and a hard place. But in from the side, Fredpoyor come actually in to engage here. He gets onto Eden Fox. Eden Fox goes into the stasis. It is Fredpoyor going down, but on the other hand, Eden Fox looks to get ignited. Now Yulbu is caught in between a lot of players here. It is a fight going over into the favor of Copenhagen Flames as it looks right now. Yulbu almost gets the execute down on Young. Nihus going forward. It is a 2-for-1 in the favor of Copenhagen Flames right now. Atlando getting... Well, they get the engage off.
Yeah, they do, and it looks like a fight that could turn to Atlando's favor, but it all comes down to the hard focus onto Gubi, which just goes into the golden chrome stasis and not being able to touch him at all. He does still have the pull. He has the Sonias, which he has rushed, which very wisely actually helps him a lot here because all their focus is going into him, which just like conculates into him not being able to get him down, and just means that the Flames can take down the whole of Atlando's lineup here. Just getting the 2 kills to 1, which kind of puts Flames in the lead once again, but not as much as we have seen through the other games.
No, it's a 1,000-goal lead after this. I do believe they get a shutdown somewhere in there. Maybe it was the shutdown. Actually, on the support, Felpoyo had 2 kills before this fight went down. Eden Fox had his stopwatch, and he has used this now, so it won't be able to. He's not able to use that again because, of course, it's burnt out, it's broken, and he will have to build the Sonias just like his fellow comrade, Comrade Gubi, with the Sonias.
Comrade
Gubi reporting for duty, and I see him building this, even though he is a poke champion, or she is a poke champion, whatever you want to call it, because the sheer fact of the AD damage coming in from the Atlando esports lineup is something you want to build towards, right? But on the other hand, you want to build magic resist on the side of Atlando. Not really something that has come in yet. I mean, if Copenhagen Flames builds armor and Atlando builds magic resist, who looks the hottest if the game remains even?
I think it's probably going to be Flames. They have the late game advantage if both of them build the respective defensively
Actually,
measures.
Engage coming in here. Yulbu caught again. He doesn't have an escape route. He does go into Eden Fox. Atlando have been caught out a little bit now, and it's actually Yulbu every single time. He does get to go up in his spider form, repel out.
But and that's a story we have seen repeated once again. If we backtrack once to the second game, Yulbu getting caught out is kind of a tradition now, after all. Not seeing the best playstyles. He was looking kind of great in the mid-game, but has returned a little bit to his bad habits of being in the wrong place at the wrong times, right as we speak. What I like to see is that we see Eden Fox. He just got his first kill, but before that he was 0-3. And when I see a solo get 0-3, it warms my ice cold heart.
I like it. Now actually a dragon spawning here. It looks like they're pathing towards actually contesting here, but Yulbo is far behind. Lung is still in the mid lane trying to get priority. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to contest it. The jungler is down. Red team has slain the dragon, and that is in the favor there. Niho's trying to get off a sneaky peeky stun, but he might actually go down towards it. No, Felpoyo charging down his ulti here. Rakan coming in. Actually, top lane, first time top lane coming in on the side, going in for a flank. Kalhira now on the side, zoning out. The horse coming in between the rock and a hard place. Now the Rakan has come in as well, trying to zone up, getting the time for Saya to knock down somebody, but he doesn't get anybody down. Nihus is on a killing spree. Actually, Gooby gets a triple kill in this fight. Oh my god, everything backdrafts into the, I should say, the pockets of Copenhagen Flames, and Atlando just falls flat on their butts, man.
What an absolute annihilation from the side of Copenhagen Flames. What happened here? First time top lane in way over his head. Get a good engage, but just get caught out completely. And Gooby just takes to him and say, feed the horse. No, we take the blood from the horse. And that's what happened. Triple kill over to Gooby. And that means a free Baron for Copenhagen Flames on the top of the 4-1 team fight that they just got.
That team fight was so scattered and so weird. They didn't really get to their target selection, and Lunger really never got close to the targets you want to kill. And you can absorb so much damage. I didn't exactly see what Gooby did, but he does have the Rabadon's death cap now, and I think he has gotten it off the back of that fight. He didn't have it before, but he gets off such a good fight. They have so many tanky members, right? They have the Alistar, they have the Vladimir, they have the Sejuani, they have the Irelia. Like they serve as off tanks, all of them, and you have to make sure, damn sure, that you get the right target, and never can be the Alistar when you want to kill these people. So Kalhira doing an excellent job zoning out people every single time. You know, eventually they get to the first target, but then Kalhira comes in, zones them off. Then he becomes the main target for Atlando, and you never want to kill the cow because you can't really do that. And just really well played by Flames, turning this around. And Atlando, they have to be spick-span, very precise with which targets they choose to kill. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard for them. and otherwise they will have to backpedal a lot to make sure that Saya gets the continuous damage output. But right now, Copenhagen Flames definitely in the lead, almost a 6,000 gold lead, and they are looking out to close this game, this third game, this match point of the semi-final, really in commanding fashion right now.
Yeah, Copenhagen game set to Atlando. Okay, you took a finger, but we're not giving you the whole arm, because right now they're in the driver's seat. They're dictating the game right now. As the Cocoon comes in, hit
trouble
Young
here.
As it's gonna go down, knows a lot of safety coming in. First time top and getting hit by the prison, but also the Shadows comes out to save his sorry ass. It's gonna be able to get down. It's a thingy he is, but Repel comes up to save Yulbo. It's gonna be enough. They're at front line. Flash in with the hero play. The horse get very, very low. The Queen comes in. Gooby gets the double kill, and then Heathen Fox also takes down another one. Free or dead. And Nihus is looking for Chris when the stun come in, and Chris has given up. Nihus is on a rampage, and he goes down. The inhibitor is the next target. Everyone except Frapojor is dead. They are looking to close out this game 3-1, going directly
down, and
to
they're
the
going
finals.
directly for the Nexus turrets now, except for Nihus. He wants to pad the KDA 4-0-9. He really proves that he can play on this Irelia, and I think we can safely say that we have gotten ourselves the second finalist in Copenhagen Flames, who ends the third game 17-7. They got one more kill than the last game, this Atlando lineup, and they got, oh my god, they got back in the game, and then they throw it on the ground, and Flames just proves to us that they're the better team. God damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, Atlando Esports has left the chat. They are not a part of this anymore. Quit, it says. Yeah. We just saw the last few seconds of the game. Even though the Nexus wasn't spawning, we just saw Yulbo has left the game. First time top and has left the game. They have had enough. Flames completely dominated them 3-0, taking them directly to the LCD Summer Split Finals.
And, I mean, I'm at a loss for words. You know, and I'm just going to pull on a Game of Thrones reference here because that's all I really do.
Please don't.
Daenerys Targaryen always said that she was going to take it by fire and blood. It was by right, by fire and blood, and I will take it, and that is what not Game of Thrones, what Copenhagen Flames did in this game.
But just by fire.
Yeah.
Kubi took a lot of blood.
Yeah, there was a lot of sanguine pools and a lot of stuff going down here in this third game, so they did get the blood part in there. A lot of kills as well, at least 17 in each game. All three games looked very handedly in the favor of Copenhagen Flames. And Atlando they must reflect on this and just think, what? Okay, the strategy was just way off. I think they just have to reset and say, okay, we're going to try again. Next split. Because nothing really worked out for them. They had the potential this game, maybe the closest of the games.
Yeah, but it was nearly not enough. After we hit the 20 minutes mark, as I said, we were going into the late game territory, and the team from Flames was just looking way better because they did not get the scaling they needed. They did not get the early lead that they needed on the side of Atlando, which just... Okay, there's nothing you can do. They scaled better into the late game, and they just took the game pretty convincingly. But as we speak, we actually have a special guest in the studio, and it's going to be Revo, the coach from Atlando Esports. Welcome, Revo.
I mean, I suppose we're just going to have to figure out how we do this. I'm just going to do this, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to speak into the same microphone, so I'll be doing this. And then I'll be welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, so we have been very offensive and aggressive, and I don't think we're going to let up just now. We feel sorry for you, maybe a little bit. It was a 0-3 and a quite handedly 1-1 by Copenhagen Flames. What was it like, the mental state, the strategy for the game? Did anything work out for you guys? Anything the way you planned it?
Well, mostly we definitely felt like the Copenhagen Flames lineup comes way more prepared than they did to the last series we played against those guys. Obviously, everyone from the team is feeling down, but as a coach, it's your job to go in and sort of lighten the mood. And I think we have some personalities on our team that are really humble, even in defeat, and good to cheer up the entire team. But we also have some very competitive guys. I can't say we haven't, and that's obviously why we're here in the first place. Unfortunately, Flames just came very prepared. I think they are at the best they've been in a very long time, and I really wish them the best of luck in the final.
All right, very cool. And something I want to speak to now, because I'm just going to ask a little bit about the strategy. Of course, you can't reveal too much, but something that we noticed, or at least I emphasized a lot, is the vision control that was applied by Copenhagen Flames, especially in the two first games. You did do some of that in the third game. You did get more pink wards down, but the vision control, it seems like a weakness for you guys. How much is that something you've talked about in the split and in the playoffs here as a preparation?
Well, we've prepared for a very bot-focused sort of style in the recent couple of weeks, actually. For example, we draft the Yumi in the second game, which sort of like prevents us from getting out of lane as much to get this vision control. Normally, we play this style where most of our vision actually comes from initiatives made by Yulbu, our jungler, and he's really intelligent and really good at making these kind of decisions. But yeah, Flames came off of a very, very good early game in all of the games, which we definitely didn't like. We see Copenhagen Flames as a team that is really well-rounded and really stick together in the later stages of the game, where they group and have these exceptional team fights. So we maybe didn't prepare too much for this early aggression coming out from especially a guy like Young today on his Javan, for example. So that was a hard one for us to deal with, but I think we caught up with it as the series progressed a little bit. And I'm happy to hear you also noticed that we got a little bit of vision down in game 3. Got to play our game a little bit more, but still a lot to learn.
Yeah, we saw it shift a little bit more in your favor going into this third game. But now that you're like out of the summer split, what do you take with you to the next split when you go into the after the split? What do you take with you as an experience against this Copenhagen Flames lineup that you just saw today?
First off, I can't really stress enough that every time I play against a lineup like Flames, I think it's my favorite team to play against, because they always have something prepared and they play very structured. So you learn a lot from these guys. And I mean, I have a sort of a saying to myself that steal with pride. It's not like if your opponent does something very well, it's important for you to be humble and not say, oh, they got lucky or they did this, but actually adapt to this or take in everything you learn from these kind of teams. And I think whenever we face Copenhagen Flames, they show us so many like good tendencies that we can bring into our own gameplay. But I definitely also think that we expose some weaknesses. Not too many of them today, but I think there are some loopholes, and these are the loopholes I'll be taking with me into the next split as well.
Well, before we get to the next split, you do have a third and fourth place tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I want to inform about that. Quickly, can you comment on some of the things you are going to look into? Are you going to look towards different champions? Are you going to rehash some vision control plays, maybe some traps, something like this when you're behind? What are you going to look towards for tomorrow? Of course, not revealing too much as you have to play Box Vipers, but anything you can touch on there.
Well, I always like to say that we are a team that is hard to prepare for. Obviously we have an identity from our players since they're good at specific champions, but I would like to say that playstyle wise, I don't really want to lock anything in too hard. It is going to be a lot of mental work I will be doing until tomorrow. Obviously it's never funny losing 3-0 and sort of losing out on the final dream, but I will be cheering up my guys as good as I can, and we will definitely come prepared for Box Vipers. Last time we played them, we did really well, 2-0'd them, and I think we can actually, we can make a clean series against them, and I think that's the last everyone will see from Atlando this split. We will end on a high note.
That's also a very good thing to do, right? And if you have to lose, right, of course you want to pull out great performance, but if you lose 3-0, okay, we have to learn a lot from this. That's the way you want to go about it, so you can prepare for the next split. Clean cut out. You don't get the mentally worn players in a full best-of-5 match in terms of actually being able to win out on some money and some prize pool tomorrow. So still an important game to come. And as you said, Box Vipers coming in as number 5 during the split. You should be able to handle them. It would be nice to finish out strong. Now, I want to talk about something that I've heard you and Gulbar, the manager from Copenhagen Flames,
yeah.
you've had a standing bet in terms of this
Tell us
this
about
players
that.
game. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so we were talking on a stream, like in a public stream once, about this. How fun would it be if we ran into each other at playoffs? And then, as we're boys, and as we boys do, we kind of want to put something at stake. So we made this agreement that the losing coach today would have to post a picture on social media wearing the winning coach's team jersey. And yeah, I did have a lot of jerseys with me to fit him, but seems like I might have to give my pride up and put on some Flames jersey.
We can't wait to see you in the orange and white, sporting on the Flames on your chest. It's gonna be a great sight to see. We can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and on that note, Revo, we're going to see you tomorrow, probably in the final. You're going to be broadcasting as well. First off, though, we're going to see Atlando again tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Everybody out there, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure from me and Theodore's side, also probably from Revo, though it was a 0-3. So tomorrow we have Box Vipers at 12 versus Atlando Esport, and at 7 we do have Copenhagen Flames versus Wicked Gaming. So please join on in and see who gets to become the winner of the Danish
12 o'clock
split.
tomorrow. Tune in.